preparedness, and other potential failures. The Dow's up 724 points, NASDAQ up 14, the S&P 500 up by 30. Again, the high today, 102. It is 97 in Dallas, 98 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 2:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Haltom City. Thank you, Haltom City, for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome. It's the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Let's go. Well, the malignant tumor called Election 2024 limps along, and we have the next couple of bullet points on our plot line. After a wild weekend where you saw history being made in front of your face, we now have the Republican National Convention underway, which means we now finally know who the VP pick is. It's J.D. Vance. Let's ask my first guest, Raven Harrison. What do you think about J.D. Vance as the vice presidential pick for Trump?
I think it is proof that that Trump is playing 5D chess when everybody else is playing checkers. It is probably the best and most solid strategic move he could have made in this situation. I mean, it had people scratching heads. It had people whiffle waffling. It is very Trump-esque.
So why are you such a fan of this pick? What was the strategy here?
The strategy is for those who don't know, J.D. Vance is a senator in Ohio. He's 39 years old. He's a Marine Corps veteran, and I think he became Catholic about 5 years ago. But he was a very solid never-Trumper. He had been on record of saying some really nasty things about Trump, and that's what everybody first jumped to. But what has won people over is the humility of him coming and saying, yes, I did feel that way. I bought into a lot of the propaganda, but then I got to know him. I got to do my research, and now I'm a fan. That's all we've ever wanted, and it's also proof that people can reach across the aisle. He did with that pick what everybody has been saying government should do since the beginning, which is learn how to work together, learn how to pull in people that disagree with you, learn how to unite the party.
I have noticed people pointing to his geography and his pull in the Rust Belt. Now, Ohio has somehow turned from a swing state to a pretty solid red state, but adjacent to them, to the east, you have Pennsylvania. To the north, you have Michigan. A little bit west, you have Wisconsin. And I've been hearing multiple people say that J.D. Vance is going to help win those three swing states. He's very popular up there, and we don't know him that well down here in Texas. So do you track that? Is he really going to have a big effect on those 3-4 states?
He is, because he is what we've been trying to accomplish in the Republican Party. How do we bridge the gap? How do we mend the differences? How do we unite and get more perspectives in? How do we not be the Bible thumping radical, this is the way it must be party? And the way it is you bring in people who think like that, people who were once on the other side. And I think it's awesome. We've got some real battleground states, even in lieu of what happened with Trump. But the momentum has definitely swung his way. And I'm telling you, if they're going to be taking shots like this at Trump, then we're glad to have a Marine there backing him up, you know, for all of this. And that's the way I think we should look at it. This is what we wanted. This is progress.
Well, one thing that I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about, and in fact, I hadn't heard anyone talk about it, but I was expecting it to be a bigger conversation the second we knew who this guy was he picking this dude with, you know, in the back of his mind, this is going to be my heir apparent. This is going to be the guy who, after I'm done, could very well be on the top of the ticket, or maybe in a couple other election cycles, he's going to be the future of the Republican Party. And I hadn't heard that be part of the discussion. You think that was a big player?
I don't. I think that, yes, him being the future of the party and where this is going to go is big, but it was somebody who would complement Trump's style. This is not J.D. Vance's party, not yet. This is Trump world. And now, you know, like I said, we got to see true leadership on Saturday. We got to see the absolute horrific corruptness that a government brings by trying to take him out in the buffoonery of the Secret Service. But we saw leadership. We saw a commander-in-chief stand up bloody and defiant and tell people to fight rather than have himself immediately whisked off to safety. And James, long overdue. That was the most presidential moment I have seen in modern history, and the Dems are losing their freaking minds.
Well, they should. That's a Pulitzer Prize photo when he's coming off the stage, and these things usually end up polling pretty well. Here's my other concern, though, Raven Harrison. You look like you keep yourself in pretty good shape. I think you could whoop about half of this detail in this Secret Service.
Well, I'm guaranteed I could say more than half. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't have put myself at 5'6" in front of 6'4" Trump. Who the heck makes these decisions for these people? But I mean, the end of the day, there are some gaps we can't account for a half an hour. And the fact that, Captain Brainfart got up there yesterday and once again, doubled down on that rhetoric. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant like center of the bullseye or whatever the freak he was talking about this time. That's what people need to see. That's how desperate this party is. This is what they resorted to. And I have a graphic up on my social media, and it's a picture of Trump with that bloody fist, and it says, "Nice try, a-hole."
I'm just going to be enjoying every day from now until November 5th. Because, I know you're probably busy and you can't listen to all 3 hours of my show, but I have so much funny audio coming up where, Rachel Maddow is concerned that they might try to stop, the vote count in the middle of the night and sneak in a bunch of votes. It's like, oh, really? What's that like? It's fun watching them react to this situation because, boy, they are really in a tough spot. They have a candidate who has basically Lucky Charms for brains. Their opponent just took a shot in the head and got up and told his followers to fight. The polls are not in their direction. They have nothing going for them right now. I'm kind of enjoying it.
Well, I am too. And so just watch for the resurgence of Roe versus Wade. When nothing else you have, go back to abortion. But the momentum, they can't stop. They can mock him, they can insult him, but they can't stop him. And that's where we need to be. And this is a time to unite. He's showing us how. So we're going to either play ticky-tack politics or we're going to get on board and get this country back on track. Right,
but I have that little brother feel where if I notice something agitates the guy next to me, that makes me want to do it more. And so I feel like just pretending like Raven, we have these secret meetings, because it would drive them nuts. Don't tell them about our secret meetings about Project 2025 and how we're going to bring back the Handmaid's Tale, Raven. Don't let the outside world know. We're going to sneak through this election, and then all the women are going to be dressed like ketchup bottles from here on out.
Well, I invite you, James, to have as much fun with us. I tell patriots, I am wearing my MAGA stuff everywhere, to the doctor, to the resorts. I am inviting them. We're going to walk in that boldness. So I am enjoying it. You can throw spitballs or whatever makes you happy at the opposition, but this is our time. We've waited for this momentum, and we've got it. So now we got to take advantage of it.
Real quick, starting running out of time here, so just try and keep it under a minute. But Amber Rose spoke at the Republican National Convention last night. I'm going to play some of the audio coming up probably in the next segment. But what an amazing conversion story this is, because I'm also going to play you audio from her promotion. She's one of the founders of the Slut Walk. And in 2015, she's like, hey, I'm Amber Rose, leading the Slut Walk, where we can show. So she went from hyper feminist to now she's running around in a MAGA hat. Some people were criticizing. It's like, listen, we don't need to have Wiz Khalifa's baby mama out there as the face of our party. And it's like, well, no, she's not the face, but I think that outreach is critical.
She is proof of what can happen when you do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and stop having your opinion spoon-fed to you by, CNN. What do I always say, James? I don't listen to CNN for the same reason I don't drink out of the toilet.
Amen. All right, tell them where they can find you outside the James Show, Raven.
They can find me at theroarmission.com, theroarpack.com, and ravenharrison.com. We're going to be kicking butt at the convention.
All right. Thank you very much. There she is, Raven Harrison, back on the James Show. So good to have you around. I love it when she's all fired up. All right. So coming up next, you will hear some of the highlights from the RNC, but also if you want to jump in, phone lines are open, 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. So highlights from the RNC and your conversation next on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Take a look at what happened. Former President Trump may have been injured.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence.
It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
This report is brought to you by GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
The check is good, the experience is smooth, and the reviews online are wonderful at GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is Shane Mullen with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. I don't have a funny nickname or a silly TV spot. We do have over 40 years experience fighting for injured North Texans and low pre-suit fees. Being local matters, and we win. Call me, 214-INJURED, mullenandmullen.com.
In the world of property maintenance, there's one name you can trust, United Ag and Turf. With tailored John Deere tractor packages to suit your needs, you can take on hauling, mowing, loading, grading, and more. And with financing options like 0% for 84 months and $0 down available, it's easy to turn your dreams of owning a John Deere into reality. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you. Ends 7/31/24, valid on select John Deere tractors with approved credit from John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Men, if it's been a while, you're not alone. Don't be fooled by newcomer companies and promises of shockwave therapy. Men's Edge Medical will make you feel like a young man again the right way. Call 972-996-0900.
I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, debunking 3 myths about fiduciaries. And you're going to be surprised about myth number 3. Myth number 1. Fiduciaries are too expensive. Not at Trajan Wealth. Our interests are aligned with yours, so we don't need to push costly investments. The more you make, the more we make. It's that simple. Myth number 2, they will only want to sell me something. Absolutely not. At Trajan Wealth, we have hearts of teachers, and it's our goal to educate and empower, not sell. And the biggest myth, myth number 3, fiduciaries are only for the wealthy. Not at Trajan Wealth. Whether you have 50 grand or 50 million, we know it was hard-earned and we'll treat it as such. Let's grow together. So, here's your opportunity for 100% complimentary professional Q&A. Call Trajan today at 469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Are you losing sleep at night? Do you suffer from uncomfortable home temperatures? You might be suffering from ACIS, air conditioner inefficiency syndrome. Introducing Airzempic by Milestone.
Before Airzempic, I was always worried about my AC system every summer. Not anymore. Thanks, Airzempic.
Airzempic by Milestone isn't just an AC service. It's the key to home comfort and peace of mind. Imagine perfect temperatures all summer and energy bills that don't break the bank.
Ask your AC specialist if Airzempic is right for you.
Side effects may include lower energy bills, more comfortable living spaces, and an overwhelming urge to brag about your improved HVAC system.
Hi, this is Chip from Milestone. This ad is a funny parody, but our world-class air conditioning repair service is the real deal. If your AC is not running or not running efficiently, go to callmilestone.com today and ask for the Airzempic coupon for $75 off any needed AC repair.
We'll fix it in a flash.
We've been dealing with about a half-hour delay all afternoon heading out of Ferris on northbound I-45. There's an extinguished vehicle fire at Malloy Bridge Road that has only the left lane able to get by. We also have a crash in Irving, eastbound 183 at the Bush Turnpike. It's blocking the left lane, adding maybe 5 extra minutes from around Valley View. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by Van & Tree Farm in Frisco.
Looking to buy a tree for your home or business? There's only one place, and that's Fan & Tree Farm in Frisco. They have the largest tree inventory, the most knowledgeable, friendly staff, and every tree comes with that 1-year Fan & Guarantee. Go get you a tree from Fan & Tree Farm in Frisco. Visit fanandtreefarm.com.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Are you ready for a new job? Express Employment Professionals helps tens of thousands of people find jobs every year and never charges a fee. Find your next job with Express Employment. Go to ExpressPros.com to find your location. That's ExpressPros.com.
DFW's most trusted news, talk, traffic, and weather station. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Well, under normal circumstances, the day after we get the vice presidential pick, I would be asking you, what do you think of the vice presidential pick? And I am asking. It's not that I'm not asking, I'm not interested. But this is a guy who is relatively a small name. He's definitely not going to outshine Trump. I don't think anybody could outshine him or upstage him at this point. But this isn't too much different than Mike Pence in that fact, where I knew the name. I knew he existed. He's been on the national stage for a little while. I mean, I heard his voice at least, but no, I don't know his biography. I haven't read his book. I don't know all of his background. And when I go through the Audiotron 3000, I don't have a nice library of J.D. Vance audio clips that we can go bounce off of. So I'm going to be doing what you're doing over the next few months and trying to learn more about this dude. If it looks like he's about to step in as our next vice president. And obviously that's like what I said with Raven. That sort of makes him the heir apparent. So Trump only has one term left. And it has been sort of a political pattern that you've noticed that when one guy terms out, his vice president is the top guy in the conversation to replace him. So we may be seeing a lot of J.D. Vance in the future. What do you know that I don't know? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I love the little know-it-alls. And I mean that in a nice way. Like this weekend when we were doing the special coverage after the attempted assassination of Trump, the gun nuts that were calling me and telling me of the little nuances about how the gun systems or the details around the shooting worked in ways that you and I might not be as familiar with. Totally useful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And for you people who are like, oh, well, I used to live in Ohio and I know J.D. Vance's younger brother went to college with my sister and they dated twice. Nothing happened. But I want to hear those stories. If you have any inside info on J.D. Vance, if you're an Ohio transplant, that'd be cool too. 800-288-9227. Well, the Republican National Convention had Amber Rose speak last night. And you don't know who Amber Rose is. I'm assuming you don't. If you do, congratulations. You must be in the younger part of the demographic because I barely know who she is. And I'm a fan of such things. Like she used to date Kanye West and I'm a Kanye West fan. And then she had a baby with Wiz Khalifa. And I think they were married for a while. And I'm sort of a Wiz Khalifa fan. I like hip hop. But Amber Rose came on the national profile, in my observation, dating Kanye West, but when they split up, she didn't drop off. She had her own little career. She was on some reality shows, if I remember correctly, and she had sort of a political side to her, but very different than the one you saw last night at the Republican National Convention. You and I, let's jump in the DeLorean. We're going to go back in the Wayback Machine here to 2015. This is a video that was put on YouTube September 25th, 2015. So about 9 years ago. Amber Rose is one of the founding members of the Slut Walk. Now, excuse my language. It's not something I would normally say on the James Show, but it's totally FCC compliant, and that's what Amber Rose named it. Thank you very much. And the Slut Walk was a very assertive, feminine public display of the celebration of being a slut, for lack of a better term. Now, some of this is rooted in, women get treated like objects and, they're going to take their own power back by owning their bodies and walking around topless. And, if it's illegal to walk around topless where you're at, they'll put pasties over the pigmented parts and just have a good old time with it. Now, a lot of people who consider themselves more conservative culturally weren't big fans of the Slut Walk. So what weird bedfellows this makes to hear this lady speaking at the Republican National Convention last night when this was her 9 years ago starting the Slut Walk.
Hey, it's Amber Rose, and I want to welcome you to my Slut Walk October 3rd, downtown LA at Pershing Square. Log on to filmon.com/slutwalk, and you can see it all over the world. There are 15,000 people that are showing up to the Slut Walk. Please get there early. Sign making starts at 10 a.m. The walk starts at 11. This is an amazing cause for women. It's a double standard world, and we're done with it. Please support the cause. I love you guys.
Yeah, and she's right, though. There is a double standard there because it doesn't make the news when me and Eric Bushman walk around downtown topless and pasties. And so that's just total double standard, and it's got to stop. Amber Rose at the Republican National Convention last night told a story about how she became pro-Trump, how she's been seen in these viral videos wearing a MAGA hat, saying nice things about Trump. How did the founder of the slut, one of the ground zero sluts, in her verbiage, come to speak at the Republican National Convention? This is her sort of conversion story. It's very Christian-esque. It's almost like a testimony. How are you converted?
I know this because for a long time I believed those lies, so I'm here to set the record straight. The first person I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse, and I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump.
People cheering
have to do their
research.
research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love.
Yeah, just don't sterilize children, please.
And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
Now, that's not exciting to you, but there are a whole lot of people who otherwise wouldn't even consider the Republican Party, but now at least open the door because she's saying this.
So I let go of my fear of judgment, of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you.
Pretty amazing.
Love you too. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the U.S. military. Thank you for your service, Dad.
Oh, and her dad's the military vet. Okay, so that's Amber Rose at the Republican National Convention last night. How good was that? Well, you know it's good because Van Jones said it was terrible. Van Jones, the communist on MSNBC.
That was probably the most dangerous speak for the Democratic coalition. That is a young woman of color. She's describing the experience that a lot of people have, feeling that maybe if you're around too many liberals, you might get criticized too much, or you might not be able to speak your mind. And she spoke to it really well. And she's way more famous than any of us up here. Yeah. I'm going to tell you that, way more famous. And so to the extent that these guys are trying to bust up our coalition, that was a bunker buster right there.
You got to like that. You got to love the sound of that. All right, if you want to be part of the conversation, 800-288-9227. Your thoughts on the Republican National Convention, JD, Vance, Trump, all of it. Coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The world is changing rapidly. It's time you take action and become a part of something bigger. Learn a new roadmap. The roadmap to retirement through real estate investing. Learn from the best. Lifestyles Unlimited, for the backup you need to succeed.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. So if I were to ever get in trouble, I could call, a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lisa appreciates having Lifestyles Unlimited educators and mentors in her quest to retire in 5 years or less.
It's basically just having the mentors behind you.
Join Lifestyles Unlimited today for $297. That's 60% off the regular price of the Lifestyles Unlimited Financial Freedom Program. Text the letters BAP to 88007. Once again, that's BAP to 88007. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text BAP to 88007.
Guys, did you know testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? If you're feeling lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Well, the answer is simple. Get your levels checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Don't put it off. It's quick and easy, and you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you'll get customized care from medical providers who specialize in testosterone treatment. And you can also be evaluated for treatment for prescription weight loss medication. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know.
Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
It's better over here.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
For over 120 years, Dallas Plumbing and Air Conditioning has been serving the Dallas and Fort Worth area's air conditioning, heating, and plumbing needs. With our decades of experience, you can rest assured our certified experts will keep your home running at its best. Visit Dallas Plumbing at dallasplumbing.com and ask about our $79 AC tune-up special. Get ready for those hot days now. Call us at 469-599-7200 or visit dallasplumbing.com. That's dallasplumbing.com. License TACLB 50010E.
Are your feet stopping you from being active and making it difficult to get healthier? Trade in your bad feet and start the new year with good feet and get healthy in 2024. Wouldn't it be nice to work, walk, and play pain-free again?
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Calls grow for answers from the Secret Service. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
Still dealing with about a half-hour delay on northbound I-45 heading toward Dallas because of an extinguished vehicle fire near Malloy Bridge Road. It has only the left lane able to get by your stop-and-go back from 8th Street. And we have a construction delay on both sides of 35W in South Fort Worth. Your left lane closed both north and southbound between Garden Acres and Rindon Crowley. Expect about 10 to 15 minutes of extra commute time in both directions. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got 'em. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, a heat advisory is in effect through the rest of the day. Sunny this afternoon, a high 102. It is 98 in Dallas, 99 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Novak Motors. Congress is investigating the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump that left him wounded and a rally attendee dead. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik explains the House Oversight Committee will be looking into shortcomings in the Secret Service's protocol and response during the incident at the Pennsylvania rally.
There needs to be accountability when there are these law enforcement failures to improve to make sure it never happens again.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer announced his panel will hold a hearing July 22nd with Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle. A second teenage girl has been charged with capital murder days after a botched robbery near Victory Park in Dallas.
Investigators say the victim, 18-year-old Jake Reynosa, was walking down the street around 5 a.m. Sunday when he was approached by at least 3 people near North Houston Street and Nowitzki Way. The group tried to rob him, and police say he was shot as he ran away. Officers found the suspect's car shortly after, but the trio took off running. A 15-year-old girl was captured quickly, and police arrested the 16-year-old on Monday. Investigators don't believe either girl fired the fatal shot and are searching for another man involved. Nicole Osei, WBAP News.
Your money news. Amazon Prime Day is here, and experts are reminding consumers to be wary of scams. Deceptions such as phony emails from people impersonating online retailers like Amazon are nothing new, but the Better Business Bureau says phishing attempts increase amid the heavy spending seen during significant sales events. The Dow's up 722 points, NASDAQ up 14, the S&P 500 up by 30. Again, the high today around 102. It is 98 in Dallas, 99 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Well, it's been a while since I've been to a Major League Baseball All-Star game. Getting ready to go see my second Midsummer Classic, just a few hours at Globe Life Field. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Parking lots have already opened around the globe, and the gates for the 94th All-Star Game will open at 4 o'clock for those of you who have tickets to see some of the game's biggest stars playing. Last time we had an All-Star Game in Arlington, 1995, back when they played in Globe Life Park. Hall of Famers Fergie Jenkins and Nolan Ryan had already retired. Ivan Rodriguez was still a big leaguer and played that night, and Adrian Beltre was just starting his big league career. Tonight, Beltre will throw out the ceremonial first pitch, accompanied by Jenkins, Ryan, and Rodriguez. Beltre inducted into Cooperstown, that's coming up on Sunday. And the Rangers represented in the game by Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, and Kirby Yates, along with manager Bruce Bochy, who will oversee the American League All-Stars. First pitch at 7 o'clock, the game televised on Fox. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by the Law Office of Nick Namath.
The law offices of Nick Namath has helped thousands of taxpayers get out of IRS trouble for over 20 years. Hi, I'm Dallas tax attorney Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Nick Namath. For our help, call 972-484-0829 or visit myiRSteam.com.
This report is sponsored by Juniper Networks, the now way to network.
Now's the time to switch to Juniper's AI native network. So, instead of network complexity weighing you down, now you can simply rise above problems by proactively preventing them. Juniper Networks. That's the now way to network.
DFW's only FM news, talk, traffic, and weather station. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. As if this election cycle wasn't weird enough, we got to keep our head on a swivel for this new AI technology because we're looking to be fooled by this anytime soon. And we're also seeing it expand outside the election world into the real world. I mean, you hear the robots calling your phone, and whenever you try and get help through someone's website, they're like, hey, you could just chat with us here. You know you're chatting with an AI. So how far has it gone this far, and how far is it going to go? Let's ask an AI expert. Matt Rosen is on the James Show from Aleda. Welcome, Matt Rosen. Just how far has AI gotten thus far?
Yeah, James, thanks for having me on the show. Well, you know, AI has been talked about since the 50s, and there's lots of papers published on it, for literally the last 70 years, and it really wasn't until the last couple of years that we've actually had the computing power for all these theories and models to become a reality. I mean, I had a Commodore 64 and wrote BASIC back in the 80s, and it's absolutely amazing how far technology has come. And I think when people really woke up to AI, it was back in November of 2022 when OpenAI launched their ChatGPT model out to the public, and it reached like 100 million users really quickly. And ever since then, they've been churning out model after model, as has been Google and a number of other competitors. But the models that most people are exposed to really just predict what word's going to come next. It doesn't really do any real thinking, and it hallucinates and tells you things that aren't real. So it hasn't really been widely used in production in most organizations that we work with, but lots of people are using it to help them with their job, to create emails, to write songs, to come up with images. So it's come a long way in a short period of time, but it still has, I think, a long way to go before you start to see businesses really embracing it outside of what you talked about, like just a chat bot that helps you order something or helps you return an item.
I like how you threw out your credentials by saying you hand-coded BASIC in the 80s.
Yep. It's been a while since I've coded. You wouldn't want me near a computer anymore, but I definitely have tried to incorporate the use of ChatGPT and At Aleda, we've actually built a number of our own internal bots that keep the information private in our walls to really help our consultants be better at what they do. Because frankly, if we don't stay ahead of this technology, AI is going to replace us. And so we've got to keep our skills sharp and really help our clients understand how AI is going to actually change their world for the better and avoid changing it for the worse.
Well, I look around my job environment, and here's something that's awful. It seems like it would be really hard for AI to replace what Garrett does over on the board, turning the volume up and down, screening the calls. Seems like an almost impossible job at this point. Bushman doing the news, there's no way he could be replaced by AI. We've seen AI try and write articles and whatnot. I think I'm actually the one that's first and most likely to be replaced by AI at my workplace because I don't actually do anything. I'm a talking head. I don't even need my arms and legs. I just sit here and talk. I think I have one of the most vulnerable jobs because I don't do anything physical.
I don't think you're going to be replaced anytime soon or be headed to the beach. If you interact with a lot of these AI models, they can create a lot of different voices. You can talk to them and they talk back. With what some of the new technology OpenAI got leaked about is there's going to be a new model release that it can actually do some reasoning like a human. I don't think that's going to be out for a little while longer. But you get on the air, you create relationships, you come up with content and ideas, and it's entertainment and providing insights. And I just don't see AI replacing you anytime in the near future. I wouldn't tune in for that.
Well, it depends on am I going to be the guy that's programming the AI host? Because I think that's a job I would like. I would love to be able for when someone says, well, hey, has this ever happened before? And I can say, yes, in 1453, when I met with Sack in Constantinople, XYZ happened. Just have the infinity of knowledge at your fingertips that I definitely don't. So that's just something I think about is AI seems to be more of a threat to us who just talk for a living, or it's just information based and not physical.
Yeah, well, you could actually go out to ChatGPT today. I don't know if you've had a chance to play with it and ask it some of those questions. Or if you were to upload transcripts of all your shows, you'd be like, hey, when did I have this person as a guest? Because, when I think about the things AI is really good at, it's really good at gaining insights from a vast amount of information that would take human, months to pour through. It can do in virtually seconds.
Yeah.
It can create nice starting points for things. It can automate some things. But I really view it as a tool that's going to help make us better and keep us from having to do mundane things. But for those who do the same thing over and over and over again, and it's routine work, their jobs are going to be at risk. And we've got to retool people as a society, to stay ahead of what AI is going to bring. It's here. It's not been fully integrated in what we do, but it will get there over the next couple of years, just like the internet did, just like the smartphone. Just like every technology revolution, every time new technology comes out, everyone's like, oh my gosh, my job's gone. No, it just generally changes and new jobs get created.
I look forward to the next Rush Limbaugh show. They're gonna digest all 30-something years of his 38 years or whatever he did of his show and be able to sort of apply it to new stories coming out. And if they ever perfect that, I think that would just be the neatest. And then maybe they'll do it for me too long after I'm gone and I won't see a dime from it anyway. Matt Rosen, how can they find you outside of the James Show?
Yeah, they can find me at our website. It's www.aleda.com. What we do as an organization is help companies figure out how to apply AI to their problems. We help them create proofs of concepts and really can help anyone that's curious about how can an AI help our organization, what are the threats and opportunities we should look out for. There's a form out there you can fill out. You can also look me up on LinkedIn. There's not a lot of Matt Rosens out there at Aleda. Would love to hear from anyone who's interested in learning more. And James, thanks so much for having me on your show this afternoon.
Thanks for the time. ALLATA.com. That's Matt Rosen. Coming up next, I want to take some of your calls. All right, John, you're going to be first up. But if you want to be after John, 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Have you heard the news today?
President Trump, we are grateful for you to be our nominee for the 47th President of the United States of America.
Why did President Trump almost lose his life?
Leadership has consequences. It matters who's in the White House.
Don't miss a thing. Stay connected for whatever's next.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Are you ready for more? Hello, it's Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And when you shop with Freeman Toyota, you get 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus 3 years of complimentary tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty with every new Freeman Toyota. 3 years of complimentary oil changes, plus tire rotations, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like I said, you get a lot more, and you won't pay a dime for it. Come see us at 183 and 820 or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Wow. Biden's at it again.
Inflation, rising costs for everything. What now?
Try big government control of our Medicare drug benefit.
The more I hear, the more it seems we can't afford Biden's Medicare agenda.
They're right. And it's because seniors are already feeling the pain of Biden's drug coverage changes, with almost 2 million forced from their plans and spiked premiums for nearly 5 million more. Now, Congress wants to expand the Biden Medicare agenda even more. But studies show Biden's plan will restrict access, shrink coverage, and limit availability of needed drugs for all seniors. Thankfully, Senator John Cornyn is a champion for Medicare drug coverage. Call him at 202-224-3121. Urge him to stop Biden's radical Medicare changes by opposing S 1246 now. Paid for by Seniors for Better Care.
You feel the heat in your home and on your electric bill. You know the summer heat is seeping in through your windows. The fix is easy, it's beautiful, and it's affordable during Statewide Remodeling's 60-60-60 sale. For 30 years, Statewide has replaced hundreds of thousands of windows, and for good reason. Superior quality and style for any budget makes Statewide the right choice for homeowners who want style and savings. Hi, it's Ernie. You know, the time to update is now during the Statewide 60-60-60 sale. Get 60% off installation, 60-month low financing, and a $60 Amazon gift card with your in-home estimate whether you buy or not. Also, Statewide windows qualify for up to $1,200 in savings from the Inflation Reduction Act. Mention Ernie Brown and get a bonus $200 Visa gift card with purchase. Hire the team I recommend for the stunning windows you desire. Visit statewide-remodeling.com now to schedule your estimate and get all the details. Go to statewide-remodeling.com today during Statewide 60-60-60 sale.
Are you confident your retirement portfolio is protected in today's inflationary environment? Risk management against inflation has never been more important. Join Bulwark Capital's Zach Abraham for a special inflation webinar Thursday, July 25th.
With the election looming, continued global unrest, rising cost of living, and this crazy market volatility, protecting retirement portfolios has never been more critical, and it's our #1 focus.
Don't just ride out inflation. Join Zach for his live inflation webinar, Thursday, July 25th.
We do it always seeking opportunities to lower risk, lower cost, and give you as much upside as possible.
Don't miss Zach's special Inflation Live webinar, Thursday, July 25th. Register now at knowyourriskradio.com. That's knowyourriskradio.com. Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24244. Go to knowyourriskradio.com.
We have a new crash in downtown Dallas, 30 westbound. A little bit before Harwood, it's blocking the right lane, causing about a 10 to 12-minute delay starting around First Avenue. And we're still dealing with that extinguished vehicle fire heading into Dallas County, northbound I-45 at Malloy Bridge. Only the left lane is getting by. That's causing about a half-hour delay. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 5,000 people died in workplace accidents in 2019 alone. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. So much to talk about with what's going on in the news. We have, it seems like it was 2 weeks ago. The Trump attempted assassination just happened on Saturday, 3 days ago? I am hoping this conversation doesn't go away anytime soon, not for political reasons, but some people have brought up some significant flaws with how the Secret Service performed and So no one's been fired yet. I mean, this story is not done. And on top of that, we still don't have a motive with any depth in it. Also, on top of that, we have Trump's cases being thrown out yesterday, along with J.D. Vance being announced as his VP pick, and some other great speeches at the RNC with Tim Scott and Amber Rose last night. So much going on. J.D. Vance is going to be speaking tonight. We're probably going to break into live coverage, maybe during Mark Levin, I believe is when that's going to happen. So much going on. We can talk about all of it. 800-288-9227. John and Melissa, you're on WBAP. What do you think, sir?
So I'd make 3 points about the J.D. Vance nomination as vice president. So I was actually at the Republican National Convention in Detroit in 1980, so 44 years ago.
Wow.
The model has always been, and actually it was interesting at that convention, they were talking about bringing Ford on as the VP for Reagan, and then it ended up, of course, being George H.W. Bush. But the model has always been, because of the structure of the party, that whoever's at the top of the ticket, whatever wing that person comes from, they've typically chosen someone who's from the other side of the wing. So, for example, Reagan chose Bush. Bush was more traditional, moderate Republican. When Bob Dole became the nominee, he's the more moderate wing. He chose Jack Kemp. Then you got H.W. Bush or W. Bush. He had to choose Cheney for a different reason. Anyway, what's really the greatness of Trump is he's made it quite clear that he has moved the entire Republican Party apparatus and center of gravity away from having to follow that model, because what it has caused is the inability of any policy to be changed that the people have been yearning for since Reagan. And so now the appointment of J.D. Vance has made it quite clear that we're not going to take the scraps that Democratic policy drift has given us. We no longer have to follow whatever the mainstream media tells us. We can always punch back, and we have our other centers of gravity, talk radio. You mentioned Rush Limbaugh earlier. Reagan didn't really have any of that. So he was really kind of not able to follow through on this. But,
right.
Trump has been able to really change the entire direction of the Republican Party, where we are going to see very positive change. It's going to return the country, which is a democratic republic, right? It cannot exist for long periods of time as an organ of the elites, and eventually the working people are going to make themselves felt. And I thought, the arguments that were made last night in the convention by Amber Rose, who you mentioned earlier, that was very, very powerful. I think the Hispanic woman who talked about, her experience voting for Biden in 2020, but now is all in on Trump. And of course, the single mother who was, whose husband was killed by fentanyl, who died of fentanyl, and now is a single mother having to get by. And now these are all representative. And then of course the Teamsters, guy coming in and talking. I think these are all indications that America is starting to right the ship, and that, Trump is really almost single-handedly responsible for all of this. So, I think the J.D. Vance, I actually come from Western Pennsylvania and that kind of Appalachia area. I recommend everyone go see the Hillbilly Elegy on Netflix. It's a riveting movie. You cannot believe what you see. That now this guy is our actual vice presidential.
Have you read the book? Sorry to interrupt. Have you read the book Hillbilly Elegy?
I have not.
Okay.
I know. Shame on me. I guess,
well, you know more than me. Don't be ashamed. Some of us are learning a lot right now.
Yeah. So I would say it's hard to remember back in those days when you really were families were struggling. The Cold War was still kind of going on. You didn't really know, I come from that kind of same background, that it's that Scotch-Irish kind of, backbone of all of those states that, what we call the Rust Belt. And Vance is going to be fantastic up there. And he's also got the eloquence to really take on some of these liars in the media. I mean, Amber Rose talked about how her journey went from believing the lies of the left-wing media to actually understanding that she's been lied to this whole time. And now a lot of people are picking up on that. And I just strongly recommend, first of all, I'm very, very in favor and very happy with the pick. I think it's been fantastic. I think, it also indicates the kind of dinosaurs that are left, the rhinos, the John Cornyn's, the Mitch McConnells. These guys are, they are now no longer important to the Republican Party. And because they just don't really understand what the working people really want. They just want the country that we had. We don't want to be transformed. We don't want the Obama transformation. We want America the way it has always been.
Dare I say, would you like to make America great again, John and Melissa?
I've heard that statement
somewhere. It sounds familiar. I think I read it in a fortune cookie, or maybe it was on the back of the Fruity Pebbles box this morning. I don't remember. Thank you very much, John and Melissa. And he brought up Amber Rose. How would it feel being Amber Rose's dad? It's like in 2015. Hey, what's your kid up to? Mine just finished law school at SMU. Oh yeah, well mine just started the slut walk. That's a great the conversion that she had from being the Ground Zero Slut Walk founder to speaking at the RNC. I bet you her dad likes this story a whole lot better. Janet Jackson coming to Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, July 25th. Special guest Nelly. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. You can win tickets from us. Text the word Janet to 800-288-9227 for your chance to win. Text the word Janet to 800-288-9227. Coming up, further discussion of the RNC and Trump's VP pick on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Ever since I was a kid, I looked up to my dad. Man, he could fix anything, including power generators. That puff of smoke and the sound of the machine roaring with electricity was the coolest thing ever. He'd give me a high five and say, "Son, you're the Kennerator." Since then, I've spent decades building my company with one goal, helping people like my dad did. And now, I own the best generator company in DFW. See our story at Kennerator.com. Like generator with a K. Kennerator.com.
Fellas, do you take better care of your yard than your health? Well, as guys age, they may find their health lacking energy, motivation, and gaining weight, all symptoms of low T. At Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, the healthcare experts specialize in personalized testosterone treatment, and they make it easy to get checked. You'll get all your results on your first visit, and you can also be evaluated for treatment for prescription weight loss medication. Do it now. Don't wait. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Sometimes knowing where to start can be the biggest challenge with regard to planning for retirement. And that's why we've created the Retirement Readiness Mini Kit. This is a complimentary resource that is perfect for anyone that wants to get started and get focused on what's important in planning for retirement. Inside the Retirement Readiness Mini Kit, the 11 biggest mistakes people make before retiring. This is a white paper that contains valuable insight into the most commonly made mistakes that people make in retirement planning. Also, you'll get copies of the most important news stories from the
the radio program, the latest information on important topics like Social Security, Medicare, and taxes. Also in the kit, a complimentary subscription to the DFW Retirement Planners monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest news regarding planning for success in retirement. To get your retirement readiness mini kit, just go to the website, dfwretirementplanners.com. dfwretirementplanners.com. It's complimentary at the website, dfwretirementplanners.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I love taking Balance of Nature. It makes me feel sparkly every single day. It's just an amazing product.
I'm Rick. I'm in the best shape of my life. I play a lot of golf. I work out and ride my bike. I'm 63 and I can still almost hit a golf ball 300 yards. I mean, when I'm in the gym, I can do 90-pound dumbbells. That's what I did when I was young. As long as I'm living, I'll keep taking my Balance of Nature.
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code DALLAS.
How about this $29 service call gimmick? I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Here in North Texas, an experienced service tech costs around $35 an hour to employ. So how can a company charge $29 for a service call when it doesn't even cover their costs? It's simple. They just charge you for a bunch of unnecessary repairs. That $29 is just a ticket into your home and into your wallet. At Reliant Air Conditioning, we provide comfort to homeowners who don't want to be taken advantage of.
Our service call is $99, and our techs don't work on commission.
Right now, you can combine factory and utility rebates to save over $5,000 on a brand new system that can cut your electric bill in half for as little as $98 a month. So call two other companies first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
I got a big show today.
Get ready, it's me, Dan Bongino. If it's happening and it's big, we've got it covered.
This is just unbelievable.
We got to do an unfiltered show for the unfiltered show, because I'm ready to say more.
Now do you see why I've been talking about this the whole time?
As I said, we got great material for you today. There's so much to work with over the past few weeks. Stay tuned. Promise you're going to love it. Spread the word. You don't want to miss a single minute from the Dan Bongino Show. Tune in daily, wherever you listen.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Holcomb City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
The lineup for day 2 of the Republican National Convention. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have new trouble in Mesquite on southbound 635. There's a crash in the right lane at Oates Drive. That's causing about a 15-minute jam back from Centerville-Ferguson. They cleared the crash that was in downtown Dallas, 30 westbound before Harwood. Still about a 5 to 10-minute delay unwinding from around Munger. And heading into Dallas County, northbound I-45, still have about a 20 to 30-minute delay because of an extinguished vehicle fire at Malloy Bridge Road. They've moved it into just the right lane, but you're still stop and go from 8th Street. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
Plenty hot the rest of the day. Heat advisory goes on till 8 p.m. this evening. Heat index levels could be 105 to 110 in several places. All precautions outdoors. Sunshine the rest of the day, 102 the high. Heat indices again could approach 105, 110. Clear tonight, stifling, a low of 81. A few widely scattered storms Wednesday, near 100 for the high. Heat indices to 104. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
98 degrees in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm. A crowded primetime lineup is about to get underway in Milwaukee for day 2 of the Republican National Convention.
The Republican National Convention in its second day here in Milwaukee. The theme, Make America Safe once again. We'll hear a wide range of topics, including the effects of illegal immigration, the deadly fentanyl epidemic, and crime, with a crowded list of events and speakers, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, businessman Vivek Ramaswamy, and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, who up until very recently was not expected to be here, following a bitter primary battle with the former president. Her appearance and a speech after she called on her delegates to support the former president, who on day 1 of the RNC captured the party's presidential nomination. At the RNC in Milwaukee, Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A Texas Rio Grande Valley lawmaker is meeting with Mexico's current and incoming president on the matters of water and border violence.
Representative Vicente Gonzalez meets with both the current and incoming president, Claudia Sheinbaum. South Texas lawmakers pushing Mexico to release about a year's worth of water. It's owed from the Rio Grande as stated in a 1940s treaty. Texas Valley agriculture has had no water for crops this season. Sugarcane industry already wiped out. Citrus crops could be next. Another topic to be discussed includes the State Department's warnings Americans and U.S. residents are cartel kidnap victims from Reynosa bus stations and aboard those buses. Kimberly James, WBAP News.
Your Money News. CenterPoint Energy is taking the blame for the continued power outages a week after Hurricane Beryl hit the region. The Texas Public Utility Commission is investigating the company for things like storm preparedness and other potential failures. Thomas Gleason is the PUC chair.
We'll have recommendations around their communication, best practices for communicating in an emergency event that they failed to meet. Those can be implemented immediately once we identify them and come up with solutions. Some other issues are going to take longer. So one of the things that I've heard as chairman is vegetation management has been an issue.
Governor Greg Abbott says state resources like food, water, and shelter are available to Texans without power. The Dow is up 743 points, NASDAQ up 37, the S&P 500 up by 36. Again, the high today, 102. It is 98 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Novak Motors. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Copper Canyon. Thank you, Copper Canyon, for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, all you beautiful Texans. Welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Let's go. Dude, dumpster fire. The whole year is a dumpster fire. Like, we thought 2020 was some kind of weird year. And I'm not saying this is worse, but this is definitely its own little malignant tumor in and of itself, as if we don't have all the weird stuff going on around the election cycle and the president who has brains that are basically the dirt that is on the mound at the Texas Rangers Globe Life Park. They had the home run derby last night, and it's here in our backyard. It's in Arlington, and the lady who sings the national anthem for the home run derby, her name's Ingrid Andress. I don't even think I've heard of her before, but when I see her, she looks kind of familiar. She says she was drunk last night. She was drunk last night singing the anthem at the home run derby. Well, how bad could it be? Why does she have to admit that she's drunk? Okay, here it is. Dude, she's getting booed. Oh, say does that star she looks lit.
For the
can't do this. Like, if you know you're going to sing the national anthem on national TV in front of a giant audience, wouldn't you cut it off at like 8 beers, maybe 9? Oh, God. All right, that is the worst lead-in possible for my next guest, Anthony Russo, coming back on from the Truth Will Set You Free podcast, as if everything in this year has to be a dumpster fire, Anthony.
Well, why you gotta lead in with that one? Why you gotta give me that as my theme music? Come
That's
on.
the worst, man. All right, your thoughts so far on the Republican National Convention? You know, a lot happened yesterday with Trump's court cases being thrown out, announcing a VP, and then a couple of big speeches there with Tim Scott and Amber Rose. And let me just, before we get into specifics, your general takeaway thus far.
Well, you know, coming off of a very odd weekend, obviously, something that's unprecedented in 4 decades in the United States of America, and you've got a former president / whatever you want to call it, trying to be elected, going to the Republican National Convention with almost a heroic status. And his entry last night was something that you have to really hate Donald Trump to not at least get some chills when the arena erupted when he came in last night to Lee Greenwood, and Lee Greenwood, you know, singing directly to him, talking to him. I think that the first night was fantastic. And for me, as somebody that went from the Democrat Party when I was growing up and when I was younger and made the switch and still have some more liberal values in some senses, seeing them bring more liberal Democrat speakers, the head of the Teamsters, Amber Rose, people that are making the switch, I think was incredibly important. Even though there's some staunch conservatives that weren't a huge fan of Amber Rose being there, I think that we are finally doing what the Democrats do when it comes to marketing and finding a way to speak to more than just our base.
Well, you know, I'm glad you pointed out when Trump came out, because he didn't speak. He didn't get on stage. There's no audio I can play of him, but he just walked through the procession and you could hear the crowd. Now, something happened at the end that I think may be one of the defining characteristics when we look back in future years of what 2024 was, or at least the election of 2024 was. They didn't break out into the USA chant like they did at the rally when he got shot. They broke out into a fight, fight, fight chant. And I think this is going to be here to stay for the rest of the election season.
Mark Lawrence from Cedar Springs, Michigan.
And obviously emotion.
Yeah, hush, Jake Tapper. But yeah, that fight, fight, fight chant. I think we're going to be hearing that through November.
Absolutely, and we should be. I mean, in all reality, if you want my honest opinion on the failed assassination attempt, is this is a man that, you know, we've talked before. I'm not a 100% Trumper, but at the same time, you look at what's happened to him. They first went for his reputation, and then they go for his finances. Then they go to get him legally, and nothing is taking him down in the eyes of the American people, and that leaves only one thing left. And Donald Trump Jr. said the same thing that I've been saying since Saturday, which is you only have one thing left. And I'm not going to finger point and say 100% the Democrat Party went after Trump or all these things, but there were so many failures that something there has to be, obviously, you have to feel that was suspicious. And at the end of the day, you had a guy come out of it triumphant. You almost have to think biblically in this sense and say, this is probably what we need as a country right now. Is we have to fight back against what is trying to end the American ideal, and I think it's important to recognize the magnanimity of the situation.
Can you hang on through the break, Anthony?
I'm here. You got me.
Yeah, you're making some good points there, and I want to continue with him next on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Homeowners, listen to me. We just had another round of rain. If you're noticing anything, do not test Google. Do not play Google roulette and type in roof and company and say, well, whoever I get here, it'll probably be fine. No, that's how people get burned. You need to go with a reputable company, someone that has over 100 and something reviews on their Google site. If you go check it out, and don't just listen to the guy on the radio. What do you think? I know how to properly rank roofing companies? No, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Don't Google me, test me, check it out. I met with the owner, Greg Hiltz. He showed me all the Google reviews. And unless they have some amazing bot farm where they came up with 150 fake Google reviews, I think that should back up the opinion with a little bit of fact there, a little bit of experience, and a little bit of reason why these guys are going to be around. So when they do give you the guarantee and you call them up in 3 months or 5 months or a year or so, they'll still be there to pick up the phone because that's their number one thing. I mean, the biggest problem you have finding a contractor is, number one, getting them to answer the phone or call you back or show up on time. You don't have to worry about that with Paradigm Roofing. They're going to have a full-time job supervisor, and if there's still any problems after that, Greg, the owner, his cell phone number is going to be on the bottom of your contract, so you can call the owner if you ever need to. Hopefully you won't, but putting a new roof on your home, it's a big job. Don't play Google roulette. Call Paradigm Roofing. 972-542-7774. 972-542-7774.
Live coverage from the RNC all this week. Keep connected, DFW, with News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
When I saw the aggressive letter from the IRS, the panic started. $87,000, where will I come up with that? I couldn't afford the taxes in the first place. This will destroy me. These are things we commonly hear from our clients. Hi, I'm Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath with the law offices of Nick Namath. When the IRS comes after you, it can be devastating. We also hear the IRS put a lien on my house, took my paycheck, froze my bank account, said I was going to jail. If you're facing IRS wage levies, tax liens, unfiled returns, or past due taxes owed, the last thing you want to do is face the IRS alone. For over 20 years, I've been helping individuals and businesses in Texas stand up to the IRS and sometimes even drastically reduce what's owed. You deserve the help of an experienced local tax attorney, not some out-of-town, non-attorney tax resolution firm. Call Nick Namath, the DFW tax attorney, for a free confidential consultation at 972-484-0TAX or go to myiRSteam.com.
Are you struggling with bad feet? This is Brandy, and at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet arch support system.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. Maybe that's the reason all the remedies you've tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're going to feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet.
Find the closest store near you at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
We have about a 20 to 30 minute delay heading out of Fort Worth on southbound 35W because of construction in the left lane at Garden Acres. Your stop and go back from Alta Mesa. They cleared the construction from the northbound side at Rendon Crowley up to Garden Acres. Still have about a 15-minute delay unwinding in that direction. We also had a crash clear up in Mesquite, southbound 635 at Oates. Still about 10 to 15 minutes of slowdown back from Northwest Highway. And you also still have about a 20-minute delay heading into Dallas County on northbound I-45 because of an extinguished vehicle fire in the right lane at Malloy Bridge Road. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report sponsored by HappyHead.com. Regrow your hair with HappyHead. Visit HappyHead.com for 60% off your first prescription order. HappyHead.com. Prescription products require an online physician consultation and only available if a physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details and important safety information.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now WBAP FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We continue with my buddy Anthony Russo from the Truth Will Set You Free podcast. And the Republican National Convention is something that is the only window to a few demographics and constituencies that the Republicans get, and they only get it like every 4 years. There are people that are tuned into this that normally wouldn't be getting this message. If you were telling them, if you were consulting for the RNC right now, what would your focus be?
I mean, it would be exactly what we saw last night. I think that was a great way to start out, and and again, I don't think it was necessarily on purpose on the timing, but all the eyes are on Trump. They're on the Republican Party because of what happened on the weekend, and you finally showed some people that are not typically Republicans speaking. And I think J.D. Vance, I'm indifferent on the selection of J.D. Vance as VP, but I know why. He has great relationship with unions, specifically the Teamsters. Having the Teamsters president, I think he was the president, speak last night is a big deal because Teamsters in the states that matter, that are swing states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, they carry between 1 to 3, in some cases even 4% of the vote because people follow the unions. So that's a huge deal. And I think that's why J.D. Vance was selected. I know virtue signaling people are not going to be too happy because there's not a woman or a person of color, but I think it's important to carry those states. That would change the election from the Electoral College perspective. And then you have the ability to have somebody like Amber Rose. Everybody it's become one of the most viral clips of any convention in history to see a woman that went from more of the promiscuous lifestyle, obviously, more of a gangster rap situation, to somebody that's given her life to God, theoretically, and also became a Republican. She's still imperfect. Obviously, she's human, but she's somebody that has 20-something million followers on social media plus. And her clips going very viral why she left the Democrat Party. And I think that is really the key. Today is just chock full of amazing speakers. You got Vivek, you got Ted Cruz. You mentioned a whole bunch of people speaking earlier. Like if there's a day you want to go and look at policy and politics, today's the day with all the speakers. And then you got Trump. But I think they're doing it the right way right now.
Amber Rose, 24.3 million followers. That's just on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And it's not the 23 or 24 million people that are following Tucker Carlson. This is a whole separate set that all they know about politics. A big chunk of our audience, I imagine, all they know about politics is Democrats good, Republicans bad.
100%. And again, she's made the switch over, and you can see all of her social media, like she's got the MAGA, and then I think her movement is Move or something like that. But she can speak to that group that what the Democrats constantly do. And I'm not going to lie, if you believe in authenticity and that people can see that, the Democrats that come out and say things, typically supporting Joe Biden, it feels staged, but it doesn't matter because they're young and cool and they're hip and they'll take it. Amber's speaking the way that she did, speaking from the heart, telling kind of her story, and also the fact that she has made the move seems a heck of a lot more authentic. So I think that this is how we might be able to move the needle in some of the people never get to see people switching over. All they think of is, oh no, nobody switches to the Republican Party. How could they? Only old people switch over. So I think that was, again, I don't think she's a perfect person in any way, shape, or form, but I think it's incredibly important to the Republican Party, the Republican movement, and the actual vote coming up.
Let me ask you the opposite question. If you're the Democrats, how would you spin what's going on at the RNC?
I got to be honest. I don't know. Like right now, this is the first time I would actually say the Democrats from a marketing perspective are in trouble. You just had an attempted assassination to which a president got up and pumped his fist. Like there's no more heroic photo in the history of the presidency. Like they're losing on that aspect. They're losing on the fact that maybe their rhetoric might have got them in trouble. Any middle ground voter is going to see that. And then you see what's happening at the Republican convention, and all they've been leaning on is Project 2025. And I think they're going to try to stick to that. Problem is all the messaging at the convention has been going against Project 2025. So right now, I think this is the first time the marketing minds' backs are against the wall in the Democrat Party. And I don't know how they spin it. I think they just continue with Trump bad and do the best that they can, but I think it's backfiring. So honestly, I think they're in trouble.
And that's the crazy part. I think their biggest, probably most useful topic or issue right now is abortion. There's still a big chunk of the country that it's a single issue voter, and it's 100% based on their love of abortion, or at least their support of abortion. And you think about it, 1 million or so abortions every year. From here on out, you think any of those women would want to take that option away from the women who come behind them? And I think that's what's so crazy about the Amber Rose bit is exactly her target demo. That's exactly who got the message last night if they were paying attention to Amber Rose.
Absolutely. And I've talked, I mean, the red wave, say what you want, the red wave in 2022 did not happen because of the abortion topic. It wasn't like there was a 20% shift. It was that 3 to 5% in most states that caused the Republicans to not fully take over Congress. So coming into this election, the fact that Trump has been very clear about his stance, Roe versus Wade is accurate. Banning abortion on a federal level is not correct. That's not the way that it should be done. You've got more modern voices coming in. You've got the unions talking about the Republican Party. You've got the Amber Roses, and you've got more middle ground Republicans. I'd be very curious to listen today to see what the rhetoric is around the pro-life discussion, because I can't imagine the biggest mistake they could give the Democrats is more fodder for that abortion topic. Them to continue on with, they could say we believe in the sanctity of life. That's great. But to just take the hardline pro-life subject and hammer that down is going to hurt in the long run from a soundbites perspective, because right now we're winning that game. Everybody knows we're pro-life. Everybody knows this party of no abortions and all that stuff. We got it. Let's just not hammer it home and give more fodder for the left.
Anthony Russo, how can they find you outside of the show?
Truth Will Set You Free USA on all the social media platforms. That's the best way to do it.
Boom. There you go. Anthony Russo, Truth Will Set You Free podcast. Thanks for being on the James Show again.
Later, brother.
All right. The conversation continues next. We're going to talk to Dr. Fahmi Farah, a cardiologist. Blood donations have dropped. Look, they're cyclical, but we're having some issues now, and we'll see if we can right some of those wrongs. And then I want to talk to you. We'll get right back into politics after that. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I just throw out an idea here. There was a commenter on the social media that earlier in the show said, who do you think is going to win the election? Oh, my goodness. Who do I think is going to win the election? I'm starting to run out of hypotheticals on how Trump loses in 3.5 months. What do you think? 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, North Texas, it's back. Summer is here with a vengeance, and with it comes the wild, wet, dry, dusty, great outdoors, which your home needs to keep in the great outdoors. Hi, I'm Brad Barton, and to do that, your best line of defense is Clarity Windows and Doors. Their team of professionals will show you how to raise your in-home comfort level while lowering your energy bills, and that's month after month for as long as you own your home. Clarity can create a master plan that best fits your home and budget with low-interest financing available. And right now, all Clarity's windows and doors are 20% off, but only through the month of July. Remember, there's still plenty of summer left to go, so get in touch with Clarity today. Call 1-888-458-3630 and keep the wild, wet, dry, dusty, great outdoors outside where it belongs. Timeless beauty and savings are yours this summer with Clarity Windows and Doors.
Bring clarity to your home. Clarity Windows and Doors.
After you've been injured in a serious car crash or truck wreck, you deserve more than some lowball offer from the insurance company. The Wilhite Law Firm is committed to helping you win what you deserve, a Texas-sized settlement. The Wilhite Law Firm was awarded Best Law Firm in 2023, and you deserve nothing less. Get your free case review at WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com. WilhiteWins.com. Don't delay. Click today.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Honey, what are you doing?
The garage door only shuts if you sprint and hurdle over the sensor perfectly.
This isn't a track and field event. We need Wellborn Garage. They'll replace our garage door opener same day, and scheduling is easy at callwellborngarage.com.
You're right. Calling Wellborn's better than me pulling a hamstring.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
I'm Chris Grundy, host of Texas Yard Makeover Weekend Edition. Some easy projects can turn your yard into a water-saving retreat. Add native plants. They're beautiful and survive our extreme temperatures. Grow a pollinator garden. It uses less water and attracts hummingbirds and butterflies. Make your lawn a success. Never water more than twice a week, and make sure you cycle and soak. Visit waterisawesome.com and pick a weekend project. Little projects, big difference.
My name is Dr. Dave Anspaugh. I have co-authored a wellness textbook, which was the #1 bestseller. And I do about anything that I want to do. I still take care of my own lawn, and I go to the health club. We'll go 2-3 miles on the treadmill there. I've been taking Balance of Nature about 6 years. It has convinced me that it's a great product. I enjoy playing golf. I will go out there and go down to the green and go back and do it once or twice more. Seems like being retired, I've got more going on than I did when I was actually working. I stay active. You know, I do about anything I want to do. As long as I'm breathing the air, I'm going to be taking Balance of Nature.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off with your first set as a preferred customer. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. This week is your last chance to claim this offer by using discount code DALLAS.
With affordable dentures and implants summer savings, new denture wearers can get a free upgrade to our premium denture for the price of an economy denture. That's an average of $700 in savings. Offer ends July 22nd, so call 1-800-DENTURE today. Visit one of our 16 general dentistry practices in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Restrictions apply. Go to affordabledentures.com to learn more.
Go ahead and smile.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
The Secret Service pledges to cooperate. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a couple of new issues in Dallas County. Garland 30 eastbound at Zion Road. There's a crash in the 2 left lanes causing a jam back from Bobtown Road. And in Dallas proper, southbound Loop 12 Walton Walker at I-30, there's a disabled flatbed 18-wheeler. It's in the right lane. That's adding maybe 5 to 10 minutes of extra stop and go from Shady Grove. And in Fort Worth, still dealing with a construction delay, southbound 35W at Garden Acres. The left lane is closed down. Give yourself about 20 to 30 extra minutes back from Alta Mesa. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, a heat advisory is in effect for the rest of the day. Sunny this afternoon, a high 102. It is 98 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Reliant Air Conditioning. The Secret Service is now pledging to cooperate with Congress's investigation of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania rally. Fox's Brian Yennis reports on what we know so far about the shooting.
Far less than 3 minutes after that first gunshot, the former president was safely in his SUV. Now, sources did tell Fox that the shooter was seen on that roof without a gun, again, about 30 minutes before the attack. And we know local police were first alerted about a suspicious person pacing near the magnetometers at the entrance ahead of the rally. Local police were exchanging photos of that suspicious person who later turned out to be the shooter. How long was that search going for? It's one of many questions still unanswered.
Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, who has called the incident unacceptable, will testify before Congress next week. Your Money News Goodwill North Central Texas is reminding the public the entity is more than just a thrift store. The nonprofit also provides job training and education courses to help those with disabilities and disadvantages become independent. Goodwill Senior Director of Workforce Development, Bobby Hodges, says their courses cover a myriad of sectors.
Digital skills training. We also have a North Texas Institute, which is our career school, where we also do certification. We have a truck driving school. We also have medical billing, coding, different national type credentialing.
The nonprofit is hosting digital skills classes at Meals on Wheels of Tarrant County and a computer basics course at Arlington Charities on Thursday. The events are free, but registration is required. The Dow closed up 743 points, reached a new record today, settling at 40,954. NASDAQ up 37, the S&P 500 up by 36. Again, the high today 102. It is 98 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
When it comes to sports, it doesn't get any better than the Midsummer Classic, where the All-Star Game at Globe Life Field in Arlington is just hours away. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. It's America's pastime, and Major League Baseball does it better than anybody else. While the NFL dominates when it comes to what we watch on TV, there's no way over 18 weeks in a season to have an All-Star Game. So we get the Pro Bowl. The NBA All-Star Game is a joke. They don't play any defense. So I guess the NHL All-Star Game would rank second in the pecking order, but baseball does it right. And if tonight's game can live up to what we saw last night with the Home Run Derby, we're all in for a treat. Cowboys are spending their last week at home before leaving next week for training camp out in Oxnard. According to a survey of NFL executives, coaches, and players, quarterback Dak Prescott is ranked 10th in guys that play his position. We've got Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Those are the top three. Prescott is ranked 10th heading into the 2024 season. It's a slight drop from last year's survey where he was 9th. Prescott in the final year of a 4-year contract where he recently said extension conversations have been back and forth, but his focus is set on training camp. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to NHTSA, a new car crash is reported every 56 seconds in Texas. Thomas J. Henry handles serious auto accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get immersed in new worlds and ideas with Audible. Explore an incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all in one easy app. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Keeping you connected 24/7 DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the big show. My next guest is going to deal with something else important going on besides politics. We have blood donations dropping, and it's not unusual for them to drop and accelerate depending on different times of the year, but we can't let it get too bad. Dr. Fahmy Farah is back on the James Show, local cardiologist. Welcome. Just how bad is our blood situation now? We're not at like crisis levels, are we?
We're not at crisis levels, but it is low, and it tends to be quite significantly low during this time of the year because a lot of people are usually traveling. People are just, not that enthusiastic about taking that time out of their lives and going there and doing something that's so necessary, which is blood donation.
I heard something weird about blood donations that it sounds like it could be true. I just don't know. I hear technically you're not allowed to get paid for blood donations. And so they have legally they can work around it by saying, well, we'll just as a token give you this shirt or something. But what are the laws around donating blood? Do you know that?
I don't know that there's any rule or law against that, but typically speaking, yes, in the United States, we do not pay, or patients don't get paid, or people don't get paid for donating blood. Although I think that would incentivize for a lot of people to go and donate blood. But as far as in the majority of the centers, no, it's a free thing. That's why it's called donation. And they give them a little token of appreciation, just a T-shirt and things like that for taking their time out.
Right. And I appreciate the ethics behind that. You don't want people just willy-nilly going and selling their kidneys and other body parts, and blood, I guess, counts as a body part. But yeah, it really seems counterproductive. If we could just throw someone like $40 for sitting down for an hour and giving some blood, that seems like it would be a huge lift.
Yeah, you're right. That would take care of a lot of the shortage because it would just incentivize donating blood. But I could see the flip side of that as well, like how it could be. There's so many other problems that can arise with that as a society also.
Well, I also hear, and I don't know which is which, but some blood types are more desired than others, and other blood types, I mean, they still want you to give blood, but it's not as useful as like some more universally accepted blood types. What are the more favored blood types they're asking for?
Yes, the universally accepted blood type is O negative. Anybody can take that blood type, and that's why those are so highly sought after, especially in an emergency situation when somebody needs a lot of blood suddenly, when we don't have time to type them, because blood typing takes a little bit of time. And in the scenario of a bad trauma and a patient's bleeding out in front of you, you need blood right then and there. So in those situations, we would use the universally accepted blood, which is the O negative. And so if anybody has O negative blood, you really should consider donating because it'll help save a lot of lives.
All right. Where do you go to donate blood? How do you find the one that's closest to you?
You can go online. Every city, every county has multiple donation centers. Some hospitals and clinics, they do those too. There's, Red Cross, several organizations do donation and blood drives. Major hospitals in your area will do the same. So you just have to kind of go online and see what's in your area. It's usually fairly easy to find and donate blood.
Dr. Fahmy Farah, thanks for being on the James Show again.
Thank you so much.
All right. Go out there, especially you O-negative people. Do the right thing. Get them blood donations back up. But look, let's go back to the conversation that we were having before that important stop down for a second. Politics. I want to hear your thoughts on not the shooting and not even necessarily the Republican National Convention. I keep having my mind blown over and over, and it shouldn't surprise me anymore, just how bad some media outlets can be in their coverage of this stuff. Now, I know that you have seen on your social media feeds people showing the headlines from right after Trump got shot and how ridiculous it was. Like, Trump may have been injured in incident on stage at rally, like he twisted his ankle or something. Anyone who saw that knew within 30 seconds of the event, blood's running down his face. That sounded like it was gunshots. That was an assassination attempt. You could say a possible assassination attempt, and a lot of them did. But go look at who was out there saying, well, there were some loud noises as Trump was escorted away by security. That's your takeaway? Media's been absolutely horrible. Well, after the initial reporting, they have been pretty dang bad in the continuing coverage. I love how, look, I got a couple of clips from CBS News here because I didn't want to just harp too much on MSNBC. We know they're political activists. We know they bring in the hardcore lefty people as guests that are even further left than their hosts. No, let's go to a more mainstream outlet. Let's go to CBS. And their concern isn't about the president getting shot, and boy, we've got to tamp down the rhetoric, calling right-wingers Hitler, and they want to control your body, and Handmaid's Tale, and slave masters, or whatever. They're concerned about what? Oh, the blowback on left-wingers. Really? That's interesting.
And then the biggest threat that officials are telling me tonight is in the form of retaliatory violence.
You're taking me to exactly what I've been underscoring and is frankly very concerning in the rhetoric we are seeing at this hour already.
This didn't happen in a vacuum. I mean, this is after you saw Antifa and BLM for an entire summer just go ransack towns, beat people with 2x4s. There was one of these the rallies that was in Dallas where some shop owner got knocked down and kicked in his head and almost died. There was the BLM rally that happened in downtown Dallas where the 5 cops got killed. And after just a constant stream of that, and then on top of it, just the regular violence that comes out of the Democrat constituencies, you get called Hitler, you get called Nazis, you get all kinds of threats. And then what happens? The Trump gets shot, and you're concerned about violence being visited upon lefties. I mean, after all this, after everything you've seen, that's your concern. That's your takeaway. Oh, my goodness. That's like seeing the R. Kelly tape and being like, listen, I don't see a proper use of toilet paper here. This is really disgusting. I mean, just how can you come away with that? Another one. CBS heard the fight, fight, fight chant. Saw the fight, fight, fight from Trump. They know it's important. How are you going to stop it without sounding like a jerk? You're not. You're just going to say, well, we've got to stop this effective new battle cry they have.
I do want to say there was one thing that when I watched the tape, I found odd because of all of the heated rhetoric. And that is that after he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
Screw that, lady. That is the worst advice I have heard, at least in the last 4 days for sure, but maybe even going back further than that. Let me get this straight. We got to run around for our entire lives being called racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, Nazi, literally Hitler. You have people that are ransacking our businesses, burning our downtowns, destroying property, threatening us. And now the former president, current candidate for president, has an assassination attempt. It's like, hey, we don't need you guys fighting back. We don't need them to get so upset they actually start fighting back and stop being treated as cultural doormats to the woke crowd. Oh, no. Don't you dare think about fighting back, you silly little Trumper. You take all the bullets and just turn the other cheek. Yeah, that's what they're scared of. Horrible advice, horrible media coverage, horrible commentary. And these people still get to keep their jobs. 800-288-9227, 800-288-WBAP. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Coming up Wednesday morning at 6:47, Victoria Coates from the Heritage Foundation stops by with reaction from Russia and China on the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump.
And at 7:47, Jonathan Bregman joins us live from the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
I'm Carla Marion.
And I'm Monty Cook. I've got your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your forecast. Steve Lamb has sports. Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of the hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on the Wednesday WBAP Morning News, 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Guys, did you know testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? If you're feeling lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Well, the answer is simple. Get your levels checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Don't put it off. It's quick and easy, and you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you'll get customized care from medical providers who specialize in testosterone treatment. And you can also be evaluated for treatment for prescription weight loss medication. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
You want to thunder down the road in a new Toyota Tundra or Tacoma pickup? It's understandable. Hello, I'm Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And if you've been thinking it's time to upgrade your ride and save a ton of money, shop online right now at freemantoyota.com. Shop any model, pick your options, colors, make it your truck. FreemanToyota.com does it all, including financing, great trade-in values, and we'll even deliver it right to your door. So get moving to FreemanToyota.com. That's FreemanToyota.com.
Hey, neighbor, I saw your license plate. Welcome to Texas.
Thanks. I'm going to need a bigger mower for this lawn. Seems like everything's bigger here.
It sure is.
And we're saving up for a big pool.
Well, then you're going to need a high-yield savings account with EECU. It has a rate of 4.25% APY with no minimum balance and no monthly fees.
4.25%? That is big.
Yep. We've done our banking with EECU for years, and we added a high-yield savings account just last week. It was fast and easy to open online. Just call 800-808-4220 or go to eecu.org/earn more and open your account in under 5 minutes.
Wow. What'd you call them? EECU?
Yeah, that's right. They've been helping Texans grow their savings for over 85 years. You can't go wrong with EECU and a 4.25% APY. Plus, you can take your money out anytime you need it.
Huh, thanks for the tip. You don't know any good fishing spots, do you?
Federally insured by NCUA. APY is annual percentage yield. All funds must be from an external source. Membership requirements and terms and conditions apply. Visit eecu.org/earn more for details.
Are you losing sleep at night? Do you suffer
suffer from uncomfortable home temperatures, you might be suffering from ACIS, air conditioner inefficiency syndrome. Introducing AirZempic by Milestone.
Before AirZempic, I was always worried about my AC system every summer. Not anymore. Thanks, AirZempic. AirZempic by Milestone isn't just an AC service. It's the key to home comfort and peace of mind. Imagine perfect temperatures all summer and energy bills that don't break the bank.
Ask your AC specialist if AirZempic is right for you.
Side effects may include lower energy bills, more comfortable living spaces, and an overwhelming urge to brag about your improved HVAC system.
Hi, this is Chip from Milestone. This ad is a funny parody, but our world-class air conditioning repair service is the real deal. If your AC is not running or not running efficiently, go to callmilestone.com today and ask for the AirZempic coupon for $75 off any needed AC repair.
We'll fix it in a flash.
We're dealing with a couple of delays in Dallas right now. One's a crash on northbound 35E at Marsalis. It's blocking 2 left lanes, causing a jam back from Clarendon. And the other is a disabled flatbed 18-wheeler on southbound Loop 12 Walton Walker at I-30. It's in the right lane, causing about a 20-minute jam back from Union Bower. And heading out of Fort Worth, they cleared some construction southbound 35W at Garden Acres. Still have a 20-minute jam unwinding, though, back from around Alta Mesa. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate.
Hi, this is Mark Spain. When you get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and avoid the hassle of costly repairs. Find out what your guaranteed offer will be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We're just having a chat. There's a whole lot going on. You're welcome to call in on any of the big stories of the day. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. It could be anything Trump-related. J.D. Vance is the new VP pick. We got the RNC going on. We have some great speeches from last night. We have some more speeches coming up tonight. We have the fallout from people questioning the Secret Service and their horrible performance on Saturday and what needs to be done about that. I don't even know where to start, so let's ask you. We'll go to the phones. 800-288-9227. Let's do Paul in Dallas. You're next up on WBAP. What do you think, Paul?
James, I think that the reason the left is losing their mind and saying, well, we need to tone it down, we need to be about unity, we need to be about peace and all this. For the last 8 years, they have not been about that. They have been calling conservatives, patriots, Nazis and fascists and every kind of thing you can call someone that's a horrible name, they've been calling us, and they've been rioting and destroying cities and towns and destroying families, and they've just been causing chaos for the last 8 years on a regular basis.
Yes, and also, Paul, doesn't this feel a lot like their response to the October 7th terror attacks? We're like, hang on, we need to call a ceasefire. No, you don't call a ceasefire the day after you shoot at our guy. You don't call a I mean, you've been running around like the parallel between the Palestinians and the Israelis. They've been running around saying, we're going to wipe you off the planet. In fact, we're even going to put it in our mission. We're going to put it in our charter, the charter of Hamas. The mission statement is wiping the Jews off of the planet. And we're going to call them vermin, and we're going to do all kinds of attacks. We're going to lob rockets. We're going to rape them. We're going to shoot up their concerts. And then when there's a fight back, it's like, whoa, where did all this violence come from? We need to be peaceful. Yeah.
And I don't think they realize the bear they've poked. There's more veterans that are conservative patriots that have been, basically put down and told they're animals. And there's, we are the largest military in the world is the veterans. And, Trump has a huge veteran support behind him. He's done more for the veterans through the VA than any other president. And it's they know they've messed up now, because and I'm not condoning violence. I don't want violence. But if a civil war started out, they would be pretty much wiped off this earth, because we know who the fighters are. And it's not the left. They're just chaos. And chaos has no no commonality except chaos against their own people as well. We've seen that. But yeah, now they're backpedaling, trying to CYA because they know they've messed up, and it's sickening. And what we need is the dead fish Republicans that just lay there in their office and collect a paycheck to actually start working, stand up and fighting for something, and not just going along with the everyday stuff that they've been doing for the last 8 years.
And it's not just the political stuff. It's not just the Nazi and the Hitler stuff. There's a whole cultural, I feel like all of it's aimed at me because I just happen to check all the boxes that they hate. But I had to
of the American family.
Well, I also had to defend myself as not being worse than running into a random bear in the woods just a couple of months ago. And until that slander stops, none of their little, oh, well, we've got to tone it down, or we've got to start to be peaceful now, or we've got to, you're worried about rhetoric now? I'm not buying it for 1 second. Thank you. And they were so ridiculous. I mean, I was having conversations with people, not just online, but on this show. I had a guest on the show to tell the other side of the story, and I was trying to explain how I am not worse than running into a bear. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Because what would you do if you ran into a bear in the woods and you had a gun? If it was coming at you, you'd shoot it, right? I am not worse than a bear. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not Hitler. I'm not a racist. I'm not a closet Klansman. I'm not a white nationalist, white supremacist, whatever it is. Just stop it. And don't act like, oh, well, both sides. The right has to tone down the rhetoric too. What do we call you? Socialist? Yeah, I mean, you call yourself socialist. AOC says she's a socialist. Bernie Sanders says there's a socialist. You adopt socialist policies. That's the worst thing you get called. We don't call you fascist. We don't call you Hitler. Marcus in Fort Worth, you're next up on WBAP. Go.
Yes, sir. I totally agree with that last caller. He was right on. I got a couple of things. One, I'm not in security, never have been. I'm driving trucks right now. I've done a lot of things, but I know if I was head of security, every building in sight would have somebody on it. Even when the president comes through Texas, there's a security agent on every bridge that he's going to pass under. I mean, it's not hindsight, it's common sense. You protect the president from every angle. If there's a tree line, if there's a bush, you make sure it's covered. And another thing, Biden himself has basically, to me, threatened the American people. If we rise up against a tyrant government, then he's going to turn F-16s on us. I think that's unconstitutional.
That's
and illegal.
Who would he shoot? I mean, like, where would you aim? Where would you aim for my parents' barn? How would you take us out with an F-15 anyway?
I'm sure he'd give it his best shot.
Look, and I feel, I noticed how you put some qualifiers on the beginning of your call. I felt the need to do that too. I am no security expert, but it seems like to me, and then we've had confirmation from the likes of people like Dan Bongino, who's on right before us here on WBAP, because from the layman's point of view, and thank you for your call, Marcus, it feels like if they put it up another stage, like just where Trump's was, and they had some old band like Molly Hatchet was playing a concert, security wouldn't have let someone on the roof next door. Like they would have locked it down a little bit more. If it had just been like the Cardigans or Harvey Danger or some other random one-hit wonder from the 90s. I mean, the security's really bad to let that happen. Now that we've had a chance to digest it and we're not emotional and we've all looked at the maps and we all looked at the charts, and that's pretty damn bad, isn't it? 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. The conversation continues on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Hi, Brad Barton here with real-life stories from real people who picked up the phone and called Dan Harker and Empower Home Team with Keller Williams Realty to go to work for them. Recently, Dan Harker and Empower Home Team sold Larry and Stephanie's home for 100% of asking price, but before it even hit the market. Larry and Stephanie were absolutely amazed at the process and the fact that Dan already had the buyers, over 13,900 buyers in his exclusive database. Larry and Stephanie couldn't believe how stress-free the transaction was, and they encouraged anyone who's selling their home to call Empower Home Team. They said, if you want to sell, then call Dan Harker because he has exactly what you need, buyers. So take it from Larry, Stephanie, and me. Don't settle for just any realtor when you can hire the team that sells a home every 2 hours. Call Dan Harker and Empower Home Team today. Call 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD, or visit HarkerHasTheBuyers.com. That's HarkerHasTheBuyers.com.
Get peace of mind with Dallas Plumbing and Air Conditioning, serving Dallas and Fort Worth for over 120 years. Our experts handle all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Visit DallasPlumbing.com and book our whole home plumbing inspection for only $89 to ensure your home's plumbing stays safe and efficient. Call 469-599-7200 or visit DallasPlumbing.com. That's DallasPlumbing.com. License TACLB 50010E.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is Ernie Brown sitting here with Jeff Jr. of Trajan Wealth. You've helped a lot of people determine how much to put into their 401k and what investments to put it into, but you mentioned a big mistake that most people make. What's that?
One of the biggest mistakes people make is leaving their 401k behind when they leave their job. And another big mistake is rolling it into your new 401k.
Really? Why is that?
By leaving it behind, you completely lose control. You never want to leave your money with an old employer. And if you roll it into a new 401k, you'll often have limited investment options and may incur costs to do so. Trajan Wealth can help complete the paperwork free of charge and do a tax-free rollover. We can then help invest it according to your exact retirement goals and not just what the employer's offering.
If you have an old 401k or one that you rolled over to a new employer, call Trajan Wealth today at 469-579-3500. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Remember, that's Cars with a K.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
New revelations about a possible second plot to assassinate the former president. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
I-45 northbound of Malloy Bridge Road, right lane still taken away there. Also I-35E northbound of Marsalis, you've got 2 left lanes closed for a wreck. Loop 12 southbound at I-30, that one in the right lane, that 10-minute backup to Union Bower. Had a wreck on 635 eastbound at Plano Road. That one takes away the right lane. 15-minute backup there to Abrams. 75 northbound Spring Creek Parkway. That one's in the right lane. And 635 eastbound at MacArthur, the right lane blocked heavy there back to Olympus Boulevard. When WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
I'm WFA meteorologist Kyle Roberts. One more day of highs around 100 degrees, and then a little cooler weather arrives late week and into the weekend. Tonight it's a low of 81, then up to 99 tomorrow afternoon. But 40% coverage of some showers and storms tomorrow. Then down to 93 on Thursday, a 40% coverage of rain. 94 Friday with a 20% coverage. Weekend will feature scattered showers and storms as well, with highs in the low to mid-90s.
100 degrees in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm. Federal law enforcement sources say there was an Iranian plot to assassinate former President Donald Trump weeks before the Pennsylvania attempt. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder wouldn't comment too much on the revelation.
Yeah, I've seen those reports. I'd have to refer you to DHS or DOJ for any questions on that.
How far Iran's plan has gone is still being assessed, but officials say it was separate from the attack on Saturday. A man is shot and killed about a mile from the Republican National Convention.
Police and Secret Service officers swarming the scene of a fight between a couple of men, with one reportedly pulling out a knife. This happened in a Milwaukee park. Witnesses say the man with the knife was fired on by several officers. Because of the RNC, police are on hand from 24 states and Washington, D.C., in addition to 24 more branches from across Wisconsin, all closely watching both the RNC activities and a much wider area of activities and movement. Kimberly James, WBAP News.
Your money news: more than a week after Hurricane Beryl knocked out power to millions in the Houston area, thousands are still in the dark. Governor Greg Abbott says the state is providing meals for those who need it.
If you are without power in the extreme heat that we are facing, that alone can cause challenges. But also it reduces your access to food in your apartment or your house, water wherever you may live or wherever you may need it, ice and other things like that. We will continue to provide water and ice for anybody or any community that needs ice.
CenterPoint Energy taking the brunt of the blame for the long wait for power to come on. In fact, the Texas Public Utility Commission is investigating the company for things like storm preparedness and other potential failures. The Dow closed up 743 points to reach a new record high of 40,954. NASDAQ up 37, the S&P 500 up by 36. Again, the low tonight around 81 degrees. It is 100 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. Check back several times a day and keep connected, DFW, for the latest on the assassination attempt on former President Trump. I'm Eric Bushman, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Continuing coverage of the Republican National Convention all week on WBAP. I'm going to be watching it. Mark Levin's going to be watching it. Chris Crock is watching it. The Morning Show is watching it. Casey Bartholomew's watching it. We're all keeping an eye on it. And it seems so weird that we have all these giant storylines going on at the same time around this election, which was already weird to begin with. This is the first time we've had a former president going up against an incumbent president. This is the first time we had zero of a primary / caucus season. The guys were already known. It was just a mere formality. And then you want to throw on a couple of other weird scenarios leading into the attempted assassination, and that was just 2 days before the Republican National Convention starts. Oh, yeah, a lot to talk about. Let's lean on one of our friends here. Back on the show from Young Voices, Connor Vassell. Welcome back to the James Show. I would like to first get your raw reaction to Trump's VP pick being J.D. Vance. You think this is a good move?
Thanks for having me back. I think it's a pretty solid pick. I mean, with what he's trying to go for, especially in this election cycle, Vance is a pretty solid pick with what Trump wants to go through in terms of the populist agenda, trying to reach out to the common man. And considering J.P. Vance's background, I think it's a pretty solid pick.
So I don't think he's going to pick up new demographics, but geographically speaking, a lot of people are making the point that he is very influential and could win voters in the Rust Belt area. Now, Ohio's been red, probably going to be red, no question about it. But this may help him pick up Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Do you think that's the thought process here?
I believe that was the strongest persuasive element in picking Vance. I mean, a lot of those people, as you said, the Rust Belt, maybe down in Appalachia, these areas, they feel that they're forgotten by the government. And this is, regardless of whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, unfortunately, a lot of Americans these days feel just neglected by the people that are supposedly supposed to represent them. So Vance, in that sense, could pick up a lot of votes, but you're definitely right, sir. In terms of getting new voters, independent voters, in that sense, probably not.
Well, something that does look like it's aimed at picking up new voters. Amber Rose spoke at the Republican National Convention. Such a strange lineup that we have because she now is a proud supporter of all things MAGA, but just 9 years ago, she was one of the founding members of the Slut Walk. So how do you go from far left feminist activists to a Trump supporter? I find this a very compelling storyline.
Definitely. I mean, it's one of two pathways, right? One is that the Republicans or what Trump is offering is really that enticing for these people to really think about where they're coming from and wanting to switch aisles. The other one is that Biden and the Democrats are doing so poorly, so badly, that they're now sticking it to Trump now.
Yeah, well, I like that. I think the second part of your rationale makes a lot more sense because, look, the Republicans and Trump have been pretty consistent in their messaging. They haven't changed their policy positions or who they are or their approach to it or their color scheme or anything. I think a lot of the reason why some people seem to be thawing out to the idea that maybe Trump isn't Hitler is really just because of how poor Joe Biden has done.
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty much what it's come down to. We've all seen these past few years. Everyone has been struggling in terms of prices, socially, culturally. This whole country has been really struggling in that sense because we have an administration that really just genuinely does not care. Now, this whole new wave of unorthodox voters coming towards Trump, as you said, the lineup of speakers we had last night, we have the Teamsters now backing Trump. Whoever saw that?
What the heck is that about? Yeah, where'd that come from?
What universe do we live in? With all that said and done, it's good in the moment, right? You're having people who are at the very least open to the possibility that maybe a Trump administration, a second one, is good for them. Shocking, I know, scandalous to say. But the battle's not done. We need to ensure that in order to continually succeed in making sure that the Constitution is honored, we're having a less government, smaller government, maybe even do away with some superfluous agencies. We got to make sure that these new people who are entertaining a Trump vote actually understand the platform, understand where these leaders are coming from, and truly believe a quote-unquote Republican or conservative perspective as opposed to just voting for Trump out of disparity.
So I'm under the impression, Connor, that the Republicans are headed for a landslide in November and something huge, an October surprise or, I don't know, maybe a literal landslide would have to happen to stop this. Am I too optimistic?
You know, ever since 2016, I take everything with a huge grain of salt. Regarding polls, where we've seen recently, Trump is up in very many states, including those contentious areas. But at the end of the day, we have no clue what's going to happen. As you said, some surprise may come about, a literal landslide, an avalanche, a hurricane, whatever, could really tip the scales in any way. And I'm not going to hold my breath just yet. I mean, we've seen a little progress. We've seen, a lot of passion from voters, from everyday Americans. But at the end of the day, people need to go out and vote. And no one can control that except for those people themselves.
What do you think about my marketing recommendations? I haven't been part of a political campaign ever, but I think they should change their motto to something like "Hit me with your best shot" or something like that. Any recommendations where they could capitalize on this even more?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they got timing on their side right now. They can just lean into that whole, like, you missed me, or, something like that. Right. Really bring about a Reagan moment. All that being said, people have been, in the past few days, been wild. It's been a crazy news cycle. We all just want to take a break from it and just recuperate. That being said, people, I think, are really waking up to how ridiculous the situation is and really straying away from this whole woke ideology, which in the end it's not good for anybody.
All right, Connor, tell the folks in Texas what you got going on outside the James Show.
Great, thank you. So I'm on Twitter. You can follow me on Connor_the Field, Victor. I also got 2 books out on Amazon. The State Knows Best, which is about law enforcement and crime policy in America, and also I'm Joe Biden.
All right. You know how to spell Connor. That last name is Vasile. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to hear from you. Your thoughts. The same questions, really. Am I too optimistic in thinking that Trump's about to roll into a big fat landslide in November? Because my question isn't really like, is Trump going to win? It's like, is he going to flip the Senate? Is he going to expand his mandate in the House? Are they going to come? Is this going to be a big red wave? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I mean, what at this point can stop this train? A bullet can't stop it. What can? I'm James Parker. It's The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Have you heard the news today?
President Trump, we are grateful for you to be our nominee for the 47th President of the United States of America.
Why did President Trump almost lose his life?
Leadership has consequences. It matters who's in the White House.
Don't miss a thing. Stay connected for whatever's next.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
When you're hot or cold or the water doesn't flow, think Airco.
Airco Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing has been locally owned for 35 years and has earned thousands of 5-star ratings. Fast, friendly AC plumbing and drain service with no extra fees for nights or weekends. And right now, save big on a new air conditioning system with up to $5,400 in instant rebates and utility incentives. Call 877-ITS-AIRCO or schedule at airco.com.
Airco, we bring comfort home.
Hey, if you're struggling to lose weight, I have some good news for you. It's called RM3 from Red Mountain Weight Loss. RM3 works on your belly, hips, and thighs, attacking unhealthy fat and helping you lose up to 20 pounds in a month. It's safe for men and women. It's not a stimulant, so it won't make you feel nervous or jittery. This patented medication is available only by prescription, and the only place you can get it is Red Mountain Weight Loss. Lose 20 pounds by this time next month with the medical experts you can trust at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Just go to redmountainweightloss.com.
Hi, this is Chris Crock for Connect Hearing. Hearing issues? Connect Hearing could change your life in less than an hour like they did for me. Call Connect Hearing for your free consultation at any of their 35 Texas Connect Hearing clinics. My new Phonak hearing aids from Connect Hearing are truly life-changing. Mention Chris Crock for $500 off a new set of hearing aids. Don't put this off, please. Call 972-301-7350 or connecthearing.com. Terms and conditions apply. See in-store clinic for details.
Honey, what are you doing?
The garage door only shuts if you sprint and hurdle over the sensor perfectly.
This isn't a track and field event. We need Wellborn Garage. They'll replace our garage door opener same day, and scheduling is easy at callwellborngarage.com.
You're right. Calling Wellborn's better than me pulling a hamstring.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
Is chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back keeping you from doing the things you love? What if I told you you could get lasting relief from your joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime? This is Ernie Brown. It's not too good to be true. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Instead of masking the symptoms, they go to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source, using healing agents from your own body to repair and restore the damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is offering free consultations at all 5 of their local clinics. So if you want to get rid of joint pain and get back to doing the things you love, call QC Kinetics right now. 469-903-4828. That's 469-903-4828. I'm talking about long-lasting relief from joint pain with no drugs and no surgery. To get started, schedule a free consultation with QC Kinetics. Just call 469-903-4828. That's 469-903-4828.
Hey there, folks. Dan Bongino here. As we celebrate our independence this month, I want to recognize the ultimate American dream of homeownership. What a blessing it is to own a home and be able to make those renovations to make it truly yours. If you have a problem that could use a little love, you need to call my friends at Expo Home Improvement. They can make breathtaking transformations in as little as one day. Imagine walking into a space every morning that's stylish, functional, and luxurious and not having to deal with a single contractor. Expo Home will handle every detail from start to finish. They've been locally owned and serving Texans since 2006, and they truly believe that going the extra mile, that's part of their DNA. From sleek modern makeovers or beautiful classic upgrades, Expo Home will bring the bathroom of your dreams to life. So what are you waiting for? Visit expohomeimprovement.com today to schedule your consultation and take the first step towards the bath or shower of your dreams. Call today and save 10% on your project, plus get free installation. Expo Home Improvement, improving homes, transforming lives.
I-45 northbound of Malloy Bridge Road, that right lane taken away for a vehicle fired is still heavy in the area. Now 635 eastbound at Plano Road, that one in the right lane, that 30-minute backup to TI Boulevard. Also a crash in Plano, 75 northbound at Spring Creek Parkway, got the right lane blocked off. 635 eastbound at MacArthur, right lane closed for a crash. And I-35E northbound at Sterrett Road, that one blocks the two left lanes. On WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Brought to you by the Law Office of Nick Namath.
If you're facing IRS problems, call me, Dallas Tax Attorney Nick Namath, the DFW Tax Attorney, for a free consultation at 972-484-0829 or go to myirsteam.com, with offices in Dallas and Fort Worth.
DFW's only FM news, talk, traffic, and weather station. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. If you want to join the conversation, 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. You can comment on any of the Giant stories. If you something I missed about the assassination attempt or something I missed from the Republican National Convention last night, you're welcome to bring that in. But my current question is, look, don't want to get over my skis here. Don't want to get the cart in front of the horse, but I'm thinking Trump's going to win and it's unstoppable. And the only question is there going to be a red wave? Will he overtake the Senate? Will he expand his lead in the House? Will there be a mandate where if the agenda that is put forth wants to get through, there's no excuse for it not to get through? And if that happens, I'll be interested to see how that works out. Let's ask you, though. 800-288-9227. Let's go to Vince in Dallas. You're next up on WBAP. What do you think, sir?
Well, I think you are getting a little bit ahead of your skis, or however the statement goes. I mean, you guys thought that it was going to be a landslide this last election. But my thing is, the country is divided pretty much down the middle, so it's going to be close. And the people that love Trump loved him before the whole Biden fiasco at the debate. And the people that hate Trump still hate him after this assassination attempt. But I also think whenever Trump is done, I think the Republican Party is going to eat each other. And the reason why I say that is everybody is going to be vying to be the next Trump. But they're not going to get as much. People are not going to get behind them as much as they got behind Trump. I don't see anybody right now who can fill Trump's shoes, because Trump is an entity unto itself. He can say what he wants and do what he wants. I don't think any other politician is like that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think you're entirely wrong, because what you're describing is what the Democrats are going through now. Obama was such a good figure for them, and everyone coalesced and everyone agreed on Obama, on Team Blue. Of course, Team Red hated him. But yeah, he did solidify the Democrats. There was no bickering. There was no infighting. There was no factions within the Democrat Party when he was there. But now you have this guy who is their nominee, and you have a whole host of, the top-ranking Democrat officials who are begging for a different candidate, trying to kick him out in the middle of an election cycle, and we're just 3.5 months away. And so, look, your warning maybe needed to be heeded by Team Red, because after Trump is sort of the Obama figure, who is the bench? Who is going to come in and pick up that mantle?
I go along with that, with the Democrats that want to say that, hey, I don't want to follow any Democrat blindly. So if it's some Democrats that feel that they want Biden out there, speak up. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to follow nobody blind. This country ain't for kings. This country is for democracy. So if you feel that way, you shouldn't just play for a team. You should speak your mind.
Right, and
I think
I caution the opposite from happening too. For all the Republicans that I was talking to when Obama was in office for 8 years, I used to try and say, don't focus so much on Obama. He's gonna be gone one day, and you're still going to be left fighting some of these battles. And I think that the seats are going to very well could be reversed just 4 years from now, where the Republicans and the Democrats are in opposite situations, where the Democrats are now solidified behind a popular, charismatic, popular candidate, and the Republicans are finally having their internecine civil war come to fruition.
Yeah, I think that also. When I say Trump is an entity upon himself, Trump don't have to take a step back for anything and anybody. But everybody else that's after him are pretty much politicians. And if they do something wrong, they're going to act just like a politician does. They're going to say, well, I'm sorry this happened and I'm sorry that happened. See, Trump don't do that. And that's one of the reasons why he's loved so much. When he's gone, they're going to say, well, this politician says he's like Trump, but he's weak when it comes to this. Most people think politicians, when they say they're sorry or they did something wrong, they feel like they're weak or they cowering to whoever.
The establishment wing or the rhinos.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I think we all followed that. No, good discussion to have here, though. I appreciate it, and you make me think if that's the pattern that the Republicans want to follow, that puts Vivek Ramaswamy, a guy who has has never held political office before. I mean, that kind of puts him closest into next in line for Trump, but seriously, he doesn't have the star power, the name recognition. He was never a mogul that was in Home Alone 2 and had his own TV show for years. So these are all great points, Vince. I appreciate hearing from Team Blue. Obviously, you're Team Blue, but you're still listening to the James Show.
And I am, and I wanted to say one thing. The last time I was on your show, I cursed. And I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you were one of the cursors.
Yeah, I'm an ex-military guy, and it just comes out. Just comes out.
I have been known to say a curse word or two before. It's totally understandable. Johnson in Granbury, you're on WBAP. What do you think, Johnson?
Well, I hate to say this, but I am not sharing in all this enthusiasm my fellow Republicans and my fellow conservatives have right now for all these bad poll numbers for Joe Biden and all these positive poll numbers for Donald Trump. I do not believe for 1 minute the Democrats are truly panicking. I do not believe that they are just now finding out that Joe Biden has cognitive mental issues. I believe that we are playing into a well-organized, well-thought-out trap. Joe Biden is the bait. We see him as vulnerable. We see him as weak. We think this big, huge red wave, once again, we thought that once before, didn't happen.
Oh, see, that's his phone breaking up. There's nothing wrong with your radio. His phone just dropped out. Jonathan, Johnson, whatever your name is, you there again?
They are not to be underestimated.
There you
go. They have well thought out, well organized, well funded groups here in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. And I do not believe for 1 minute they're going to allow Donald Trump back in the office.
Well, I think the biggest concern you got to have is no matter what the poll numbers say, are they going to stuff ballot boxes again?
Oh, I'm sure whatever it takes. I do not believe that all these 7, 9, 11 million illegals in the past 3 years are here for nothing. I believe that they will some way, somehow play a role in this. But rest assured, they have a plan. They have a backup plan. And I just don't believe my Republicans that represent us ever really, truly know what they're dealing with the Democrats. These people They are not dumb. They are not stupid. They are not ignorant. Quite honestly, they are very clever, and they're very well at deception, and they are damn good at what they do.
All right. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. If you want to be next, 800-288-9227. And also, I have some more coverage, the reaction to what we had at the RNC last night. I think you'll be interested in hearing some of that, too. But you're welcome to join the conversation. Phone lines are open, 800-288-9227. The malignant tumor known as Election 2024 rolls on. We'll talk about it more next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
If you've been hurt in a crash, do your research. You'll find plenty of lawyers out there. They'll probably do a fine job. But ask yourself, is fine really good enough for you and your family? Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today. San Antonio, Texas.
Do you or someone you know have foundation issues? Call Accurate Foundation Repair, 972-623-2500. We've been serving the DFW Metroplex over 25 years with over 20,000 satisfied customers. Accurate offers you a true lifetime transferable warranty backed by a third-party insurance company. Call now and receive a $500 discount on your foundation repair. Call 972-623-2500 or on the web at AccurateFoundationRepair.com.
Accurate Foundation Repair. We give you a lift for the whole lot less.
Men's Edge Medical right here in Dallas is dedicated to helping you get your edge back. You'll love their patient-friendly atmosphere. Don't continue to suffer from ED and premature stamina. Always be ready to spend a little unexpected extra time with your partner. Call 972-996-0900.
Wow. Biden's at it again.
Inflation, rising costs for everything. What now?
Try big government control of our Medicare drug benefit.
The more I hear, the more it seems we can't afford Biden's Medicare agenda.
They're right. And it's because seniors are already feeling the pain of Biden's drug coverage changes, with almost 2 million forced from their plans and spiked premiums for nearly 5 million more. Now, Congress wants to expand the Biden Medicare agenda even more. But studies show Biden's plan will restrict access, shrink coverage, and limit availability of needed drugs for all seniors. Thankfully, Senator John Cornyn is a champion for Medicare drug coverage. Call him at 202-224-3121. Urge him to stop Biden's radical Medicare changes by opposing S-1246 now. Paid for by Seniors for Better Care.
Home prices are expected to drop heading into 2025. Sell your home now with Chris Waters, the proven agent to get you top dollar. Are you worried about leaving money on the table with rapidly changing house prices? Chris Waters is the real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Waters guarantees an offer for full market value up front on qualified homes with no required costly repairs or showings, and you can cancel this at any time. Take Monica. She needed to move fast and get the full asking price to afford the move. She was under contract within 10 days at $60,000 more than the closest comparable home in her area. She is thrilled she hired Chris Waters and the Waters team. Call the local Texas-based agent who guarantees your home sold at full market value. Call the team I recommend, Chris Waters and Waters International Realty at 214-689-6646, or go to ChristopherWaters.com. That's Christopher Waters with 2 T's.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
The White House reaction to the Republican vice presidential nominee. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
Waxahachie I-35E northbound Butcher Road up to Sterrett Road. Construction with only one lane getting by. Heavy there back toward about Laughlin Road. In Ferris, I-45 northbound of Malloy Bridge Road. Still the right lane blocked off because of that earlier truck fire. 635 eastbound at Plano Road. That right lane still blocked off. That's a 35-minute backup there to TI Boulevard. At 635 eastbound at MacArthur, that one's taken away, that right lane. With WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, a heat advisory is in effect through the rest of the day. Partly cloudy tonight, a low 81 degrees. It is 100 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Structured Foundation Repairs. The White House is weighing in on the announcement of former President Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio. Fox's Peter Ducey is at the White House.
What President Biden is trying to do is create conflict between Trump and J.D. Vance by citing past Vance criticisms of Trump without actually mentioning any specifics. The DNC chairman is warning about democracy here. Let's be clear, a Trump-Vance ticket would undermine our democracy, our freedoms, and our future. Anti-Trump advertising is back with only minor tweaks to the language. The campaign says Kamala Harris is prepared to debate J.D. Vance, and the DHS secretary is saying they are prepared to protect him.
Vance is expected to address the Republican National Convention tomorrow. Your Money News, Goodwill North Central Texas is inviting anyone who wants to further their careers to attend one of their continuing education courses this week. Bobby Hodges is a nonprofit senior director of workforce development and says their job training and placement programs are one of the best kept secrets in the region.
Everybody's familiar with the retail and the donation part of the program, but a lot don't know that we also do job placement services. We do upskilling, we do training, we do education, we do credentialing, things that help ones to enhance their careers.
The nonprofit hosting digital skills classes at Meals on Wheels of Tarrant County and a computer basics course at Arlington Charities Thursday. Registration is required for the free events. The Dow closing up 743 points. NASDAQ up 37. The S&P 500 up by 36. Again, the low tonight around 81. It is 100 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by American Medical Plans. Check back several times a day and keep connected, DFW, for the latest on the assassination attempt on former President Trump. I'm Eric Bushman, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Well, it's been a while since I've been to a Major League Baseball All-Star game. Getting ready to go see my second Midsummer Classic. Just a few hours at Globe Life Field. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Parking lots have already opened around the globe, and the gates for the 94th All-Star Game will open at 4 o'clock for those of you who have tickets to see some of the game's biggest stars playing. Last time we had an All-Star Game in Arlington, 1995, back when they played in Globe Life Park. Hall of Famers Fergie Jenkins and Nolan Ryan had already retired. Ivan Rodriguez was still a big leaguer and played that night, and Adrian Beltre was just starting his big league career. Tonight, Beltre will throw out the ceremonial first pitch, accompanied by Jenkins, Ryan, and Rodriguez. Beltre inducted into Cooperstown. That's coming up on Sunday. And the Rangers represented in the game by Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, and Kirby Yates, along with manager Bruce Bochy, who will oversee the American League All-Stars. First pitch at 7 o'clock, the game televised on Fox. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by Retirement Planners of America.
In today's market, we think there are a lot of financial risks for anyone who's over 50. Retired or retiring soon? Call Retirement Planners of America now for a free, no-obligation consultation. 469-331-2426. That's 469-331-2426.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Blindster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
News and talk is in our name. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Well, my next guest here, Victoria Churchill's coming back on, and we've had her on before, but I'd be interested to see what she thinks, because I don't think you've ever been on when it's been this hot and heavy before. We just had an attempted assassination on Donald Trump on Saturday. The RNC has started. Trump's cases have been all thrown out until after the election. We now know who the VP is. I mean, so much going on. Welcome back to the show, Victoria Churchill. I mean, where do we even start here? I would like to hear your thoughts on J.D. Vance. I don't know a whole lot about this guy. And that's kind of the one information hole I'm trying to fill. What's your thoughts on that, Victoria?
Well, thanks so much for having me back on. Always a great joy to join you in the afternoons as folks, start heading home and all that over in Texas. But yeah, it's definitely campaign season is in full swing. I think we talked about last time that, last time we talked, it was right after the debate, and we were like, this is really kind of early for a debate. Like, why are we even having it this early? And I think from then on, it's really been go, go, go for everybody, both on the Democrats and the Republican side. And for the media, which, as I chatted with you folks last time, I'm covering it with the swing state team over at the New York Post. So we've got coverage really from everywhere. We've got lots of folks in Milwaukee. I myself was in Pennsylvania this past weekend. So we're really covering it from all angles. We've got a massive team doing a great amount of work. And
Wait a second. You weren't at the rally, were you? Were you in Butler?
So I was not in Butler. I was actually with the First Lady that day. She was doing an event in Pittsburgh, so I was about an hour away. But that means that kind of after the fact, I was part of the team that did, quite literally the postmortem on what happened that night. So I actually just got back home about an hour or two ago, driving back to D.C.
Okay,
really
that wasn't literally a
pretty
postmortem. That was a figuratively a postmortem. Nobody died. So, Victoria Churchill, you're a good person to talk to with the Swing State Project at the New York Post, because I was throwing out the theory. My theory is not only is Trump going to win, the real question is he going to extend his lead in the House and maybe even flip the Senate? Now, that's going to depend on these swing states. We have Senate seats up for grabs in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and those seem like really vulnerable, like they could be flipped. And that's part of the reason why I think the calculus on picking J.D. Vance is, we keep being told he's real strong with this little Rust Belt area. What do you think the likelihood is that the Team Red takes back the Senate?
He's definitely going to be doing everything he can in his power. We were reporting this morning that the campaign is going to place him pretty much almost permanently in Pennsylvania, with travel out of that state into other key swing, as you mentioned, Rust Belt states like Wisconsin, like Michigan. So, that's where they're going to place him, because those states have traditionally been referred to as kind of the Democrats' blue wall, and Republicans are going to try and do everything in their power to take back those votes. Republicans are really making a play for working class Americans, which is, I think, a group that turned out pretty heavily for J.D. Vance in his Senate race. And so I think the Trump team is looking at that and saying, well, he's already won over these people once, he can do it again for us. And so I think that was the calculation. I think there was definitely some other people that were in kind of the last minute talks who maybe do have a little bit more political experience, but obviously with Trump, that's kind of, I think, never really been a part of his final decision making, with obviously himself being a political outsider and, having had the career that he's had since about, 2015, 2016 and so on, as we've all been following that for, gosh, crazy to think, 8 years, almost 10, close to 10 years, really. Like if we think back to 2015,
sure.
When he was just starting, coming down the escalator, that moment that everybody always refers to. So, I think Vance does help Trump in some of those areas. And, I think to another testament of Republicans really making a play for the working class, blue collar voters is that, the president of the Teamsters Union, he spoke at the RNC last night. So, those are the kinds of voters that Republicans are really targeting this election. I've always been a person, that says politics, obviously it's a game of numbers, but I always see politics as a game of addition, not of subtraction. And so I think what the Trump team has done year after year after year with the RNC is they've really made a move to expand their voting base from, I'd say, what's traditionally referred to as like the country club Republicans to the more working class demographic. And I think kind of with every election, you've seen Republicans gaining votes in a lot of those demographics. And, it's pretty easy to see, like in states like Pennsylvania, we're really looking at things like voter registration numbers, something that simple, whether people are flipping from one to the other or just sheerly adding to one column or another. Other states, like I think I've mentioned before, I live in Virginia. I'm based in Virginia. That's one of my states that I'm covering because I really do see it as a swing state this year. And, I think that's kind of backed up by the amount of dollars and events we're seeing here in Virginia, really on both sides, is that, the Trump team is making a play and the Biden team is, I think, feeling a little bit threatened. And so they're really going out and making sure that their presence is known, even in those deep blue states. And I think if we kind of shift that, again, a little bit north, the Trump team, by placing Vance in these key states, what they are really trying to do is, again, make the Democrats play in all of these states where they would have necessarily initially probably taken them for granted, right? Like that's, the onus of, Hillary Clinton didn't go to Wisconsin in 2016, and that's why she lost. Like that kind of narrative, I think, is really kind of a sore subject for a lot of Democrats from back in the 2016 election. And so I think now the Democrats don't want a repeat of that. So they're being made to send their key surrogates. That's obviously the president, the vice president, the first lady, and the second gentleman, their top campaign voices to those states. Just this morning I looked, and Vice President Harris's team announced trips to to Michigan and to North Carolina. So again, these are states that Democrats want to, wish they didn't have to play in. Like they wish they could just be taken off the map and counted into their column. But Republicans are making it so that is not the case. And so the Democrats have to spread their dollars and their time with their top people very thin to cover the entire map.
Thank you very much for taking some time on the James Show again. This is Victoria Churchill. Where do they find you? New York Post Swing State Project, is that right?
Yep, New York Post. Again, you can find our Swing State column in the politics or the news section. Drop down Swing State 2024. Also, just look up my name, Victoria Churchill, and it should pop up. And follow the great work that my team and really the entire Post team is doing. Like I said, we're hitting the ground in the swing states as well as really all over the country to bring you the best stories.
All right. Well, get to work. Bring me some more stories. This is good stuff. Thank you. It's Victoria Churchill, New York Post Swing State Project. Coming up next, I like to end the show by talking to you. We're going to start with Barry, and then if you want to be after Barry, get on the phone. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I'm looking at this electoral map, and a Senate flip is possible. In fact, I'm leaning toward it's probable. And we'll discuss all this next on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Coming up Wednesday morning at 6:47, Victoria Coates from the Heritage Foundation stops by with reaction from Russia and China on the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump.
And at 7:47, Jonathan Bregman joins us live from the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
I'm Carla Marion.
And I'm Monty Cook. I've got your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your forecast. Steve Lamb has sports. Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of the hour, along with your money news and how Jay keeps us laughing.
It's all on the Wednesday WBAP Morning News, 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Get peace of mind with Dallas Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Serving Dallas and Fort Worth for over 120 years, their experts handle all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Visit DallasPlumbing.com and book your whole home plumbing inspection for only $89 to ensure your home's plumbing stays safe and efficient. Call 469-599-7200 or visit DallasPlumbing.com. That's DallasPlumbing.com. Licensed TACLB 50010E.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Remember, that's cars with a K.
Fruit and vegetable ingredients have never been more convenient.
It's easy for me to recommend Balance of Nature. It's so simple. It's amazing getting the fruits and vegetables ingredients in 3 red and 3 green capsules.
I take Balance of Nature. I think it's a good product. It's convenient. It's a way to start off with a plus. I can do little capsules in the morning and I'm off to work, you know.
I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I really am happy that I came across it. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Time's ticking on your summer savings. Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off with your first set as a preferred customer. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. This week is your last chance to claim this offer by using discount code Dallas.
Hello, I'm Dallas tax attorney Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Nick Namath, with another important tax fact. The amount the IRS claims you owe is often incorrect. They're notorious for charging for taxes, penalties, and interest that you don't really owe.
That's right, Jamie. Hi, I'm Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath. If you have unfiled returns, the IRS might be preparing them for you. These substitute returns are often full of errors, so if the IRS hands you a devastating tax bill, don't panic, and please don't try to respond on your own. For over 20 years, I've helped individuals and businesses successfully handle the IRS, and I'm ready to help you. Give me a call and we'll set up a free and confidential evaluation, and I'll explain all the options available.
If you've received a notice from the IRS, or if you're facing IRS wage levies, garnishments, or seizures, call Nick Namath, the DFW tax attorney, at 972-484-0829 or visit myiRSteam.com.
In the wake of the recent storms, the residential metal roofing professionals at Mueller Inc. stand with the neighbors as we begin to rebuild together. Hi, everybody. Hal J. here. Before you replace the roof on your home, be sure to consider all of your options, especially those that can help prevent roof damage in the future. Residential metal roofing from Mueller offers outstanding protection against Mother Nature. When installed to specifications, their roofing is designed to withstand winds up to an excess of 100 miles per hour. Plus, Mueller offers a wide selection of colors to give you the beautiful look you want for your home. When you choose Mueller, they will be with you every step of the way, from design to manufacturing to delivery. And they back the products with limited warranties of up to 30 years and over 85 years of experience. Call 877-2-MUELLER or online at MUELLERINC, MuellerInc.com. Be sure to tell them Hal J said to call.
In Waxahachie, I-35E northbound at Butcher Road, that one taking away at least one lane. It's construction, by the way, and it is still heavy to Laughlin Road. I-45 northbound at Malloy Bridge Road, the right lane still blocked there. Also in Dallas, 635 eastbound at Plano Road, the right lane closed for a stalled 18-wheeler. That one's heavy to TI Boulevard. And 635 eastbound at MacArthur, the right lane still blocked off for a crash. Slow there back to Beltline Road. When WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate.
Sell your home stress-free this summer with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Skip the hassle of a traditional home sale while receiving the strongest cash offer on your home. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Just to let you know how brutal, and brutally honest, really, the internet is. There was a side-by-side of the security detail that was around Trump on Saturday versus the security detail that was around him at the RNC last night. You're not going to believe this. At the RNC last night, it's so weird. All dudes. All of them were men. I thought we had to have an even mix. I thought we had to have some 5'3" women in there trying to be a meat shield for a 6'4" dude. More on that on tomorrow's show, I'm sure. Barry in Dallas, you're next up on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think, sir?
I think they had this, James, in their back pocket the whole time. Think about it. They've been trying to get rid of him since 2016. And I'm sure they had some extreme people in their party saying, we'll just take him out. So I think this is the last resort. There's no doubt in my mind that they had this planned in their back pocket. And that's what happened Saturday.
Okay, I don't have enough information to say you're wrong. I have some general questions as sort of a pushback here.
Yep.
So the 20-year-old, is he like a CIA operative? Was he trained by the CIA and they just took him out? Or was he like a Lee Harvey Oswald, just a crazy guy that they pointed in the right direction?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one?
crazy guy that they pointed in the right direction.
Okay, so if that's the case, now we have the huge coincidence, if your theory is correct, that this 20-year-old is from Butler. He's from just down the road. So what an amazing coincidence that they had this long-term plan set up where they had a crazy guy that they were ready to point in the right direction. And just by a great circumstance that Trump decided to plan a rally there? And how do you resolve that coincidence?
Probably they had 3 or 4, people in mind, and that was just, hey, there's our Buffalo guy or whatever it was. That's our guy. Let's get.
Okay, and so then the other natural pushback, and again, just not saying you're wrong, just the logical pushback on that is, so is the Secret Service in on it? Did they let it happen, or have they just been doing terrible security at all the events, and this could have happened at any number of other security lapses? It just so happened this is the one that had the crazy guy that tried something.
What do we know for facts? They asked for security, extra security, and they got denied. That's a fact.
Okay.
So, and then all of a sudden we have all males at the convention. That's a fact. I mean, something changed there. So something was wrong somewhere. So.
Well, I can't say you're wrong. I mean, maybe one day we'll get some new information, and I know that sounds really far out, but it always sounds far out until it happens. So it's worth talking about. Thank you for calling in, Barry. I appreciate you hanging on the phone and being part of the conversation, sir.
All right, James. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's go to David. David in Arlington, you're next up on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think?
James, I think it's a bunch of stuff. I think it's leading up to prelude to something a little bit larger, because right now the RNC and the DNC is very vulnerable right now into the eyes of our adversaries.
Explain.
Well, I'll tell you what. Somebody tried to kill our ex-president the other day, and what's going to happen next?
Yeah, so I guess you're hinting at, are they going to try again? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm just commenting.
Just more civil unrest, generally speaking, not that specifically. See, I could see that. I can see that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't have enough information to tell you you're wrong. But I've also noticed that from what little evidence we've had from similar instances, that these people can be paper tigers. They can talk a lot of smack. We're never going to put up with that. And we'll get out in the streets and we'll get in their face and we'll make sure this doesn't happen. We'll stand up for our rights. But after 9/11 happened, what happened to all the anti-American haters for a minute? Did they stand their ground or did they shut up? Did they back off? No one burnt the flag for about 2 years. No one cussed America or talked about how this is the most deplorable country ever for a little bit after 9/11. It wasn't really unity. It was just one side was pissed off enough to make sure the other side kept their mouth shut for a little while. I don't fear these people. These are people that are scared of guns. They find guns scary. They find correct pronouns scary. They find plastic straws scary. Do not let these people think, or do not think that these people are going to be a physical threat to the other side of the aisle anytime soon. All right, that's going to do it for the James Show. Jordan Davis is coming to the Pavilion at Toyota Music Factory August 9th. Special guests Mitchell Tenpenny and Ashley Cook. You can get tickets now at livenation.com or text Jordan to 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227 for your chance to win a pair of tickets right now. In the meantime, for more James Show action, I'm going to go cut up the podcast and put it up at WBAP.com and the WBAP app. If you're already listening to podcasts somewhere else, you can search for it there. Maybe it'll pop up. But find me on social media. Follow, share, like, subscribe, whatever it takes. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out on The James Show. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
This is Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. If you've been injured in an accident, you want us to handle your case. Texas drivers know that when they're hit, we hit back harder. Get your free case review at willheitwins.com.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Lakefront living on a private peninsula on the shores of Bodark Lake. Over a mile of pristine shoreline, perfect for living the lakefront lifestyle you've always dreamed of. An easy drive north from Dallas to the newest fully recreational lake in Texas in over 30 years. Saturday, July 27th, the final 17 magnificent lakefront estate properties are being released in our newest gated lakefront community. Bodark Lakefront living at its finest from only $39.9. Bodark Lake will be uncrowded with limited public access, but private lakefront landowners have unlimited access. Call 888-608-LAKE, 888-608-LAKE, or visit 888-608-LAKE.com. Don't miss out on one of the best lakefront buying opportunities, especially this close to Dallas. Come see what all the excitement is about Saturday, July 27th. Call 888-608-LAKE and be one of the fortunate few to own lakefront Bodark Lake. 888-608-LAKE or visit 888-608-LAKE.com.
Is chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back keeping you from doing the things you love? What if I told you you could get lasting relief from your joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime? This is Ernie Brown. It's not too good to be true. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Instead of masking the symptoms, they go to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source, using healing agents from your own body to repair and restore the damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is offering free consultations at all 5 of their local clinics. So if you want to get rid of joint pain and get back to doing the things you love, call QC Kinetics right now. 469-903-4828. That's 469-903-4828. I'm talking about long-lasting relief from joint pain with no drugs and no surgery. To get started, schedule a free consultation with QC Kinetics. Just call 469-903-4828. That's 469-903-4828.
In the world of property maintenance, there's one name you can trust: United Ag and Turf. With tailored John Deere tractor packages to suit your needs, you can take on hauling, mowing, loading, grading, and more. And with financing options like 0% for 84 months and $0 down available, it's easy to turn your dreams of owning a John Deere into reality. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you. N73124, valid on select John Deere tractors with approved credit from John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Brandy from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without